This is the first of our 8 live and exclusive commentaries today across the Talksport network. And as I'm sure you can tell by the noise around Deepdale this Boxing Day lunchtime, the two teams are on their way. The home side in their traditional white shirts, blue shorts and white socks. And it's the change strip for Leeds United right now. They are in, well, it's a kind of salmon pink I'm going to go for there, Charlie, shorts and socks?
Yeah, I think so. Salmon, we'll call it.
Yeah, and a white tracksuit top as well. And peeling towards us, Josh Smith is the man in charge today. And what an atmosphere here inside Deepdale. The Leeds United fans are away to our left-hand side. And, I mean, there is not a spare seat in that away end. The rest of the ground is packed to the rafters, and I mean that's one thing that Ryan Lowe will be hoping for today, that this crowd will give them the boost they desire.
Yeah, you need to try and use that crowd, your home crowd. But again, fantastic support, Leeds, big club, you know, been a Champions League club back in the day. Peter was obviously part of that. Peter Ridsdale was part of that back in the day as well. So big split loyalties today. But again, you know, wonderful club, great game, and let's say Preston, Ryan will need the energy of the supporters to feed off. And let's say if I'm a Leeds player there to quieten the Preston fans, we just have to try and keep the ball as long as we can and suck the energy out of the supporters, and if we can get an early goal, that would definitely help them.
Well, the fact they've turned up in the numbers that they have, given the fact that the run of recent weeks has been so poor, particularly at home, which is not something they've been used to over the last few seasons. Let's run you through the two teams again before we get started. 5 changes for Preston today. Freddie Woodman in goal. It's Watmore, Lindsay and Hughes who are the 3 centre-halves. Potts and Miller, the 2 wing-backs, with McCann, Whiteman and Brown in the middle. Holmes will play in just behind Osmaic, who leads the line. As for Leeds United, unchanged. Melies in goal. It's Gray, Rodon, Strout and Spence across the back. Ampadu and Kamara in midfield, with James, Somerville and Pirou providing the support to Ruter, who will lead the line for Leeds United today. Interesting, Jed Spence is playing out of position, despite the fact that Junior Firpo is fit and amongst the substitutes who's more of a natural left back. But the pace that Spence has got to offer, I think probably fairly clear to how Parker wants to play.
Yeah, absolutely, and again, to match that energy of Brad Potts off that right wing back position. So, you know, it's about filling spaces, and again, it's very difficult to change a winning team. When you have a performance like that at Elland Road and you beat somebody that's close to you 4-0, it's hard to leave somebody out. But again, Spence is, you know, a player that can do really well in the Championship, and you know, it's an opportunity for him to stay in the team as well.
Well, it looks like it's all salmon top to toe. They've taken off their tracksuit tops, and it's Leeds United who will gather in a huddle. Preston in their huddle away to our right hand side. We're about to get our feast of Boxing Day football underway across the Talksport network. And what a belter this promises to be. Freddie Woodman, listen to the roar as he peels away to the right-hand side. Obviously, we arrived here today. The Tom Finney stand is where we are housed. And it's very difficult to even hear yourself think inside Elland Road. The noise is immense.
Brilliant.
What an atmosphere. And it's certainly being added to by the 4,000 away to our left-hand side, who Leeds United have brought across the Pennines. And we are underway. Kicking from right to left in the opening 45 minutes are the home side, Preston North End, and it's Woodman's long ball forward initially that gets us underway, and the header one on this left-hand side by Liam Lindsay, who looks like he's playing on the left of the 3 centre-halves for Preston North End. And there's the first free kick of the game, and it's down by the corner flag, and the foul that time on Joe Rodon is punished by the referee, and it'll be Leeds with a chance to build from the back with our skipper for the day, Pascal Strelk, who is wearing the headband, the Dutchman, and out wide on that left-hand side, immediately trying to set Jed Spence away on the far side, the man on loan, of course, from Tottenham, having spent some time in Rennes last season. And forward down this right-hand side come Leeds United once more. Won 10 of their last 14 games in the Championship, just 1 defeat in the last 10 as well, as they look to close in on those automatic promotion places, which you would feel, given the resources and the size of the club, is the expectation for this season alone.
Yeah, it's about promotion, isn't it, and bouncing back. But again, it looks like Preston have changed formation and gone 4-1-4-1, so, you know, a little bit of a tweak there for Preston. But again, brilliant play, Alan Brown. First 15-20 seconds of the game, he goes and turns Road on there, and Osmajic fouls him. He doesn't need to make the foul. It gives momentum to Leeds. There was an opportunity just to keep him in the corner, get a throw in up the pitch, and keep this crowd bubbling.
Yeah, we did wonder about how they would lie up. It was the familiar formation, but it's like Andrew Hughes, who often plays as the left of the three centre halves, is playing more in a left fullback position. Miller has really pushed on down this left hand side for Preston, who have the throw on the far side on halfway, battling hard to try and win possession on that far touchline is Osmajic again, and they've done well to keep some possession here, but then the ball is absolutely awful that time from Liam Lindsay, and straight into touch on this near side. He wasn't within 15 yards of one of his own players.
No, he's just mistimed that pass there. But again, looking at Preston, Ali McCann's just going to sit in that sixth position and look like he's going to try and take care of Ruta dropping off, or Pirro making runs in behind. So definitely a four at the back for Preston here, and you know that for Osmajic just sitting off and allowing the Leeds to have the ball around the back at the moment.
Yeah, Dwayne Holmes just reminding Potts there he's playing as a fullback today and not a wing back, as he's gone careering forward ahead of him down that far side. Oh, lovely little touch by Dan James on this near side, not quite worked out for him, and Andrew Hughes will deal with it and give it to Lindsay inside his own penalty area, and Lindsay right-footed will play the ball forward for Preston, and now it comes to Holmes on the right hand side. Here's Potts on halfway, right in front of the dugouts on the far side of Deepdale, and his through ball is nowhere near the American Holmes, and it's safely gathered at the back and picked up by Ampadu, who's just sat in front of that back four for Leeds United.
Yeah, he's had a terrific start to the season, as he Ampadu. You know, a young player coming out of Chelsea, had a few loans, played for Wales regular in that midfield position. He's played every game, every minute for Leeds this year. But you know, Brad Potts, that quality on the ball, and Ryan Lowe mentioned it not so long in his press conference, saying we lack quality at times, and things like that is where you know you don't get any momentum. The opportunity just to feed one round, Jed Spence for Dwayne Holmes there made a great run, and unfortunately tried to drill it into the striker's feet and end up going back right into Strook's feet.
Strook, who has it from midway inside his own half, out wide to the left again, looking for Spence, who helps on his way to Somerville, immediately closed down by two. Holmes was straight in, and also the challenge from Jack Watmore as well, who joined from Wigan, of course, at the end of last season. It's hobbling a bit after that initial challenge, but clearly a double-up job on Somerville will be what they're looking to do today. Here's Spence down that left-hand side, just escaped the first challenge towards the edge of the penalty area, goes down easily. And referee Josh Smith waves away the appeals for the free kick, and the long ball forward is headed into touch by Stroke on that far side, and it will be a throw-in on halfway for Preston down the right-hand side.
Yeah, it's good play from Alan Brown, good experience in terms of just a little bit of momentum from Leeds. You've got a little bit of pressure, just trying to turn the defence of Leeds, and you end up getting a throw and get possession back, and now you can start to build into the game.
It's Watmore again, to Potts wide on that right-hand side, that familiar man bun that Potts often adorns his head with. Down this left-hand side, here comes Lindsay, up towards halfway on his left foot. Diagonal ball, looking for Holmes on the far touchline. Just about kept in and flicked on quite neatly towards Alan Brown, the skipper, who'd made the run forward. And then Spence tries to win it back, but he's muscled out the way. Potts picks up the loose ball. Forward it goes from McCann on the right-hand side. Pulled back by Brown. Edge of the box is Whiteman. Looking to tee it up again, and just a little layoff. Just again a little astray from McCann, and picked up wide on this left-hand side by Miller. Lovely flick down the line by the Canadian on this near touchline, being chased after by Hughes, who can't get there. Surely that's gone out of play. No. Dan James keeps it in, and Leeds now with a chance to counter over halfway. James on the right-hand side, slipping the ball down that right-hand touchline. Held out wide by Ruter, and he's just tackled at the edge of the penalty area, and tackled well by Lindsay. And it's out for a throw to Leeds United, level with the edge of the 6-yard box. Yeah,
good play from Leeds, wasn't it? A real composure from Dan James, coming down, pressure on one side, trying to get up to pocket, and then getting in behind the full back of Hughes. That's important for Leeds today. You know, with that pace of, you could see that Somerville and Dan James wide with a pace, they're attracting Hughes out, and that'll allow for Pirro to make runs from that deep position, that 8 pocket, and he'll be able to really get in behind that full back position of Hughes. Sorry.
They've lost possession again here, Leeds, and now looking to break on the counter with Osmajic to the centre circle, but again Pascal Struik is there, does brilliantly, and Jed Spence just holds the ball up nicely on the right hand side. He had Osmajic for close attention again, but he did enough and finds Ampadu, who's inside the centre circle. 24th start of the campaign. Every minute of the Championship, Ampadu has been out there for Leeds United this season. It's Spence hugging that far touchline. Inside he goes to the former Rangers man, Kamara. Another really good pickup in the summer for Leeds United as they look to rebuild following their relegation from the Premier League. But they've lost possession in the middle of the park, and it's with Lindsay, who cleverly plays the ball out wide to the right-hand side. Potts is there, just nips inside Somerville, up towards halfway, back from Holmes, and now he's forced back towards his own goalkeeper. And in fact, it's Lindsay who'll gather it up once more at the edge of his own penalty area, to this left-hand side where he finds the Welshman Hughes. Hughes with a long ball down the line, but Miller had come short. He wasn't going into the distance, and Meslier can gather for Leeds at the back. And we've been playing here on Talksport for almost 8-9 minutes, and it remains Preston North End 0, Leeds United 0.
Yeah, just watching Dwayne Holmes here with Spence. This is important. This could be a big battle down that right hand side today.
And Spence has won it this time and pulls the ball back inside the penalty area. Comes to Pirou inside the box, who tries to get the shot away. It's blocked. Kamara 25 yards from goal, feeds Ampadu. Here's Rutter towards the edge of the penalty area. Onto Pirou once more, got the first touch, but Woodman comes out to gather, and that's really good defending from Jack Watmore, just to get in between himself and the ball, and Pirou, or Rutter should I say, as he was trying to get the shot away.
Yeah, just going back to that, talk about Dwayne Holmes and Spence, the battle against them two is that Brad Potts is getting pulled into the middle of the pitch because Ali McCann's on his own with Pirou and Somerville on the other side of him, so it's 2v1 in there. So it's important that when Brad Potts goes in, Dwayne Holmes has to match the run of Spence, because if he doesn't, then that's where the space is, in the back of Brad Potts.
8 minutes played on Talksport 2, it remains 0-0. Bright start, both teams going at it for sure, end to end in the opening exchanges. No real opportunities on goal as yet though, and it's Preston who have the throw down this left hand side with Hughes, who's 10 yards short of halfway. Into Miller, scored after coming off the bench against Swansea, got his starting berth today in that wide left role as opposed to the wing back role he's occupied in previous weeks. Leeds with possession midway inside their own half. Rodon heading up towards halfway. Infield he goes to Ampadu once more. The Welsh international will lay it off to his captain Stroke on that far side, and it's out wide with Kamara, and then to Spence and Somerville, and interchange of passes from Leeds isn't the best on this occasion. Holmes read it and now finds Potts on that right hand side. He's under pressure from Spence all the time, but got further away from him. But once more Leeds give the ball away cheaply, and McCann will go back inside his own half, and the pressure's on Watmore to find Woodman, which he does quite comfortably. Yeah, good from Leeds, from Preston. They lose the ball, but they go and react and they get it back quickly, and now they can build a little bit of momentum. But you know, no real movement up front. Osmasic, when it goes up to him, it keeps coming back, and it's important if they Preston want to get success, it needs to stick with him today. Alan Brown did well, but he's just dispossessed, and then that's out wide from Reitman down this left-hand side. Miller looking to cut in onto that right foot of his. Instead goes wide to the left, pulls it across the edge of the 6-yard box, scoots up in the air, and Leeds will try and get it clear, but they won't get far because it's blocked off by Hughes on this near side. And now Miller for Preston. Forced back towards halfway though. Give it short to Lindsay. They'll try and keep the ball a little better here, Preston, and take their time. Hughes back to Lindsay again, and he's just forced to go fetching it. Takes the momentum out the move for Preston North End. And it's short to halfway again for Hughes. Hughes now with a chance to skip away from James, which he does. Hughes driving towards the edge of the box. Hughes still going. Squares it towards the edge of the penalty area. Brown onto his left foot fires the shot. Kamara blocks it. Holmes, edge of the penalty area. Potts is wide. Just gets himself back onside. He just drifted into an offside position. Gathered up by McCann. Holmes on that far right, edge of the penalty area for Preston. Now McCann, ball into the box. Comes to Hughes at the edge of the area. Lovely cushioned header. Miller, left-hand edge of the box. Surely he's going to go inside this time on that right foot. There's two to try and block him. Back to Hughes, 25 yards from goal. And it's a poor left-footed ball into the penalty area, which Kamara easily heads down. But it comes to Miller again on this left-hand side. Goes down under the challenge, and the referee blows his whistle. And Archie Gray is penalised, and it's a free kick for Preston. Yeah, right on the touchline. Yeah,
good play from Preston, just recycling the ball, coming out to Hughes, putting not a great cross in, but again wins the ball, gives out to Miller, and he attracts the pressure from Gray, and he gets a foul. An opportunity for Alan Brown to put it into an area where Preston can go and attack it.
Here's a chance, it's level with the edge of the box. yard in from the touchline on this left-hand side. Early opportunity here for Preston North End from a set piece. There's a line of salmon shirts, the Leeds players, 8 of them, all in a row at the edge of that penalty area, surrounded by the white shirts of Preston North End as Brown swings it in, back edge of the 6-yard area, trying to put Melee under some pressure. Certainly in the Premier League last season, he was questionable with those kind of balls, but he's dealt with that one quite well.
Yeah, good early shout from the goalkeeper, coming trying to punch it, and gets rid of the danger. But a good, decent enough delivery from Alan Brown, something that he does have. He's got a good delivery, and Leeds will be wary of that when they do give away silly fouls in the areas.
Dwayne Holmes is going to try and launch this one with a long throw from that right-hand side, level with the edge of the box, looking for the flick on. He was going in the vague direction that time of Lindsay. Watmore has it on halfway, though, for Preston North End. Chip ball down that right-hand side, too much on that for Potts. He did try to float it, but it was always skipping away from the fullback. It's
just the wrong type of pass. He's got to try and leave it in the space. He's too flat, and it runs out for a goal kick. But good momentum from Preston. Leeds had a little bit of the ball, but now they had a good chance there on the edge of the box. But Preston started the game well enough to merit a couple of opportunities there.
Well, Leeds have scored 9 goals early on in games throughout this season, of course. First 15 minutes, most in the division. They're getting up towards that mark now. Yet to find the target here against Preston North End, though. As Charlie Adam quite rightly says, have started the game well, and a throw that was initially given the way of Leeds United has gone Preston's way, as you can tell. Home support very happy about that down this left-hand side, right down in front of us. And it'll be Andrew Hughes who will take the throw. 13th start of the campaign for the former Peterborough defender, playing out at left full-back today. Started his career back at Newport County, but he's had an injury-impacted season. He hadn't played during October and November, but back in the starting 11, and with another throw, having advanced 10 or 15 yards down this left-hand side. You listen to Talksport 2, you're home with the EFL. 13.5 minutes played. Preston 0, Leeds 0. Up towards halfway. Thrown down the line, headed away by Rodon, flicked on by Osmajic. It'll come to Miller on this left-hand touchline. Osmajic then sets Miller away. Miller against Archie Gray. The youngster's under pressure. Miller pulls it back across, edge of the box. Shot to the moment, and there's appeals for a handball. Whiteman's initial effort was blocked. Referee not interested, and it's out for a throw on this near side.
Yeah, no, that should have been a Preston throw. But again, Miller there causing Gray lots of problems with his movement. Short, sharp there, and nearly a cutback. And Whiteman there as a shot block. But good pressure from Preston.
First of our 8 live commentaries across the Talksport network today. Talksport, Talksport 2, and the Talksport app, of course. That's what you need, and that looked like a good challenge from
Alan McCann. That was never a foul, but dangerous. Leeds nearly broke in the counter-attack there, and that transition was big, but Ali McCann was a good tackle, and fortunately for the referee, gave it against Ali.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the ref was seeing there. Thoughts of Charlie Adam, who's alongside me, the former Scotland international, of course. Liverpool, Stoke, Blackpool, Reading on the CV.
You can't be saying Blackpool around these areas.
I'm surprised they let you in, to be fair.
Yeah,
did you get any abuse at the car park?
Yeah, but I think they'll be getting out, that's the thing.
Slip ball down that left-hand side. Here's Somerville at the byline. Oh, it's just run away from him and out of play. And it will be a goal kick to Preston away to our right.
It's that pass, isn't it? Again, that run from Somerville, the ball out to Spence, and Somerville's running from sort of an 8-pocket running in behind Brad Potts, and unfortunately for Somerville, he never controlled it. But that's a move or a pattern that looks like Daniel Farke's worked on.
Away to our right-hand side. It'll be Woodman in front of that packed stand, who will launch this forward for Preston North End. Nothing like a packed-out stadium on Boxing Day. The atmosphere electric. Great header won by Hughes. On towards Miller, who just tries to skip away that time from Stroke had come over. But in the end, it's Ampadu that will bring it clear from the edge of his own penalty area. Somerville's midway inside his own half. Exchanges passes with Kamara, who then sets on that far side Ampadu away, and Spence tries to get there, but Dwayne Holmes is in with a challenge, and it will be a Leeds throw 10 yards inside the Preston North End half.
Yeah, the atmosphere stayed, isn't it? Because Preston have had moments in the game in terms of good tackles, good opportunities and challenging, keeping that crowd and momentum going.
Ali McCann with an absolute crunching tackle there on Somerville. Also taken Ampadu out of the game as well. I think it was Somerville who clattered into him after the challenge from McCann. It's resulted in a throw on that far side for Preston North End. Just listen to that noise in the stadium. And I think it's because both Leeds players were down. The good news is Ampadu's up and about, but some of it is still down and may well need some treatment here.
I think that energy is coming from the players. You know, I've been here a couple of times and said before that it's not had this energy, this feel, but that's because you've seen the fight, the determination, winning your tackles. That was 2 good tackles there. Ali McCann wins a good tackle in midfield, the referee blows. Again, it seems like the crowd are with the players, and that's important, especially when you're having a tough time. These supporters are backing these players, and they'll feed off that.
Over on Talksport in our exclusive Premier League commentary to start game day off today, it's still Newcastle 0, Nottingham Forest 0. That was also a 12:30 kickoff. A reminder, we are in Premier League action. Once we are done here, we'll be off to the South Coast. Bournemouth against Fulham is our commentary this afternoon. We'll actually hear from Perry Groves, the former Arsenal winger, and Nigel Adderley at half-time in the game here at Deepdale. They'll look forward to that Premier League game this afternoon, and then we return to Championship action for the rest of the day here on Talksport 2 with Birmingham against Stoke from 5:15, and then tonight Ipswich against Leicester, which gets underway at 7:45. And actually the reverse of these fixtures is coming up in a few weeks' time. This is the one round of games that has a fairly quick turnaround when they meet each other. And a reminder, the other games over on Talk Sport today, we've got Burnley against Liverpool. That's the 5:30 kickoff over on Talk Sport, followed by Manchester United versus Aston Villa. Both those games are exclusive to Talk Sport, and on our app today it's Sheffield United versus Luton, and the rest of the Premier League action throughout the week. That's 3 games tomorrow as well, live across the Talk Sport network.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Loads of games, Christmas. We can enjoy it.
Yeah, the week before Christmas is always quite funny, but we were quite lucky this time round to have had a bit of Carabao Cup action as well, because there's always that moment where it goes a little bit quiet and you're like,
yeah,
you're not happy, are you?
But again, you know that, you know, for people that are not working, you could watch so many games. You know, every 12 is a game on. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's not what my wife says, to be fair.
Well, I can tell you, mine's the same.
Here's Miller down this left-hand side, onto the right foot, tries to shot, bends one in, and it just skips through. Brown was arriving, it was over his head, and it just skips past the left-hand post of Melier. He scored like that against Swansea on Friday night, and he almost did it again. Yeah, again,
he's been lively, hasn't he, the first 19 minutes of this match, and Gray knows he's in a game now. Miller cutting inside in that delivery, and if Alan Brown had just maybe thrown his head, he might have got there, but you know, positive play from Miller.
Leeds with a scare. Spence on that far side. It's out of play. Holmes is sticking to him like glue at this moment in time, and it's out for a throw to Leeds United just inside the Preston North End half. As notes are made by Ryan Lowe at the edge of his technical area on that far side. Throw-in which Spence will take on the halfway line as we approach the 20-minute mark here at Deepdale on Talksport 2, where it remains Preston 0, Leeds United 0. Third meeting between these sides on Boxing Day. A draw and a win for Leeds United so far. That was back in the day when Gary Monk was in charge at Ellen Road. It was a 4-1 victory. Here's Melier at the edge of his 6-yard box. Out they come again. Stroik bringing it forward down this right-hand side. Archie Gray is hugging this near touchline. Started the season in midfield. Now playing quite regularly as right back. Obviously there's been injury concerns. Luke Ayling would have been the initial first choice at the start of the campaign, but not included at this moment in time, as that one's planted forward. And I think Watmore's going to try and let this run out of play, and he does brilliantly, because it does. It's being chased down by Ruter, but good defending, but quite comfortable in the end for Preston North End. And Ryan Lowe's going to be very happy at this point.
Yeah, Ryan will be delighted. First 20 minutes, you know, Leeds have had a little bit of moments, but not really. And then you know, Preston have built their way into the match, and now they seem to be a bit of confidence. But Miller down this near touchline with us has caused Gray a few problems at times. You know, his directness and can go both ways. So that'll be a good match-up, and no, Ryan will be delighted in terms of how they started.
Particularly with this change to a back four, allowing to Miller to get more into those dangerous positions.
Yeah, because it gives you an extra body up front and a wider area.
Oh, Potts has lost out to Somerville and brings him down, and it will be a first yellow card. 25-30 yards out from goal. Potts lost possession to Somerville and clearly felt he had no option.
No, and it comes from Potts' own pass, really. He tries to chip one into Ali McCann, and then he knows it's a bad pass, and he's chasing all the way back, and he has to make a foul on Somerville. But these are the things about Ryan will be saying about moments in games. They passes like that can change the swing of a game, and obviously Leeds now have an opportunity to go and put it into a dangerous area.
And it's Somerville who's over it, of course. And there are 6 Leeds shirts all on the edge of the Preston penalty area. It's about 30 yards out to the left. Sure, he's not going for goal. He does put a good ball in, and Rodon got up with a header and just flicks it wide, and it'll be a goal kick away to our right-hand side.
Yeah, that's a good delivery for Somerville. I think it's actually Struijk that gets his head onto it, and he just goes by. I think it's past the post more than we actually think, but again, an opportunity to put it into that dangerous area.
Another 12:30 kickoff today is in League 2, where Mansfield are just taking a 1-0 lead at home to Grimsby. Davis Keylor-Dunn with his second in 3 games. It remains goalless in the Premier League at the 12:30 kickoff between Newcastle and Nottingham Forest. Newcastle could do with a bit of form. That game live right now over on Talksport. Again, I will urge you, if you do not have the Talksport app, get downloading. Maybe you've got yourself a brand new phone for Christmas. Get the app, then you can swipe between not only Talksport and Talksport 2, but some of the commentaries that are on our app in the coming days as well. Plenty more on there as well. You can get access to Virgin Radio, Times Radio 2 and Talk TV, our sister stations. We've been playing for 22, nearly 23 minutes at Deepdale. It remains 0-0 this Boxing Day lunchtime. And here's a chance to come forward for Rodon inside the centre circle. He finds Ampadu, lovely pass. Piru sets in Spence inside the area. He's just forced wide by Holmes. Good defending by Holmes without making a challenge, and then Spence goes down by the corner flag, and that will be a free kick for Leeds United.
Yeah, it's just that's coming from Somerville again. He's in a pocket there where Brad Potts is absolutely getting enticed in there, and again that pass between the centre back and full back, and Dwayne Holmes having to match Spence. We know how good and how quick Spence is and athletic he is, so yeah, it caused Dwayne Holmes a problem and ended up giving him a foul.
A couple of yards from the touchline, and probably midway between the edge of the penalty area and the corner flag. So a good angle here down that left-hand side for Leeds United to deliver. They have packed the penalty area in those pink salmon shirts. The gloves of Somerville are in the air on his hands as he swings that one across towards the back post, and it's deflected out of play for again what will be a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Another goal this lunchtime, not here but in the Premier League game that's live over on Talksport. Newcastle United 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Alexander Isak with a goal for Newcastle United. They've been playing for around 23-24 minutes there as well. So the troubles and woes continuing for Nuno Espirito Santo, the new man in charge at Nottingham Forest. 24.5 minutes played here. It remains 0-0. The Leeds fans away to our left-hand side are in good voice, as are the Preston supporters after probably what was a cracking Christmas day, and there is no better way to spend Boxing Day than taking in some live sport. Horse racing later today as well, of course, as our feast of football that we've got lined up for you throughout the day across the Talksport network. Here's a throw on the left-hand side, taken this time by Liam Lindsay, and we'll give it short to Watmore. On the right-hand side, it's Potts up the line with a raking ball to Brown. Brown got his head on what was quite a powerful pass and just tried to cushion it infield, but it's picked up by Kamara, who slides it forward into the feet that time of Ruter, who's dispossessed towards the edge of the penalty area. Holmes picks up the loose ball, and then Potts will chip a ball up towards halfway where Osmajic is there, and he flicked a boot up, but I think the complaint was from the Preston fans that he was being held by Pascal Struijk. And now a chance may be down this left-hand side to charge forward again in advanced position. This time it's Whiteman. Can't quite win it, but he's going to chase this one down. Is Osmajic as Meslier has it at his feet inside the penalty area. Out it goes to Struijk on that left-hand side, and Spence will just slip it forward to Somerville. Little layoff to Kamara, who just kept his foot on it and held possession for Leeds United. Rodon out wide to the right-hand side. Now can Gray try and get forward and influence the game? So far he's been suppressed by the work by Miller on this left-hand side. Ampadu to Struijk on that far side. Forward he comes again. Slips it into Spence. Spence has found some space. Cuts the ball across. Peru with a shot. It's blocked at the edge of the 6-yard box. Comes down to Somerville. Taken off his toes. And well defended that time inside the penalty area by Watmore. But it's not cleared properly. Shot from Ruter. Again, blocked at the edge of the box, this time by Potts. Wide on that left-hand side is Spence. Spence in short to the feet of Ruter. And again it's Spence to Ampadu. Midway inside the Preston half. Ampadu to the right. Finds Kamara. Kamara with a chance to run, but goes wide instead to Gray. Down this right-hand touchline. Here's Dan James. Not seen much of him in the game so far. He goes for an early ball on his right foot. It's well blocked out by Hughes, who then chases after him and then commits the foul in the eyes of the referee. And it'll be another free kick for Leeds. Probably about 10 yards outside the penalty area on this near touch.
Yeah, good patient play by Leeds. Build up now there again. And we keep saying it again. It's that run from Spence from off the back of Dwayne Holmes is causing the problems. Nearly got in there. And I was just about to say Piro's been quiet, but he's now starting to get a little bit of action. But Leeds now are just starting to build the game. You can see that the confidence in this Leeds team and things are starting to happen. The patterns of play are now taking shape, and Preston just have to be organised and make sure the distance is not too big, because when they go chase on their own, that's when they're getting picked off.
Ampadu finds Spence on that left-hand side. Spence towards the byline, forced out wide by the attention of Potts and Holmes, and wins the throw right by the corner flag for his Leeds United side. 27.5 minutes played. Still goalless here on Talksport 2. Here's Ampadu looking to cut in field. Little layoff that time for Peru out wide to Spence on the far side. No flag. Then Spence never actually took possession of the ball. That could be the reason why. But I think what Preston is saying is, but they've gained an advantage because they have a throw. And it will be taken by Spence midway inside the Preston half on that far touchline. Short it goes into the feet of Peru. And now it's turned and lost by Ruter. Gathered up by Whiteman. Back to Lindsay, who just hammers it forward under pressure, and good pressure as well that was coming from Peru on that occasion.
Yeah, it's starting to take control. Preston are starting to rush too many things again, and not really getting a full connection on that. And it looks like they're starting to feel the pressure a little bit in terms of from the supporters. So they've just got to get back to what they're doing. Here's an opportunity.
It is. Potts is on the run. He's done well here. Potts goes up to Miller. Miller in lots of space. Can he pick his spot with his right foot? Well, if he has, he's picked Rose Ed of the stand where the Leeds United supporters are, because that's way over the crossbar.
Yeah, brilliant play from Brad Potts, pressing the game. Somerville taking it off him and then having the composure to feed it Miller. But again, just 20 yards out, just puts it over the bar, and it's a little bit of a more opportunity for Preston there. Could have really got at Gray, but instead he wanted to take the shot off.
There are a few other 1 o'clock kickoffs around in the EFL today. Millwall playing QPR in the Championship. Leyton Orient are racing Charlton in League 1, and Gillingham take on Crawley in League 2, where the figure across the goals as they go in from those early Boxing Day kickoffs as well. A reminder over on Talksport, it's still Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Throw here for Preston on the left-hand side, midway inside their own half. Few scary moments, but all in all, they're doing their very best to snuff out what has been this prolific Leeds United attack. 41 goals to its name throughout this campaign. 13 victories already to their name as well in their opening 23 fixtures. That's good play forward that time by Ruter, and Ali McCann's going to be penalised for the tackle, and it will be a free kick again for Leeds, 10 yards inside.
Yeah, Ali's absolutely right. He's looking at Andy Hughes here saying, why he lobs a throw and trying to throw it over Dan James's head. It gets cut out, and then Ruter obviously is strong and he quick and he turns the centre back, and then Ali's got to make a challenge. But then it's that little bit of detail that gives pressure back to the Preston players that they don't need. They've got to throw the line, squeeze the game. Instead he's trying to lob it into a position to get caught, and then Ali's having to make a foul and then puts him under pressure now for the rest of the game.
Yep, he's in the referee's book alongside Brad Potts. So the 2 yellows so far, both going to Preston North End players. Here's Ampadu on halfway. Looks like a Rolls Royce of a midfielder in there for Leeds United. No wonder he's played every minute of the Championship so far. He looks incredibly impressive. Here's Ruter under pressure and fouled again. And well, I think when he's gone down, he may well have caught Lindsay on the knee. But it's another free kick for Leeds United. A little flurry of them in the last 5 or 10 minutes. And again, this one's midway inside the Preston half in a fairly central area.
Yeah, the game's now calmed down, and it's you could see the Leeds patterns and movements starting to take shape, and they're causing all sorts of problems when it does go into Rutter and the runs in behind. So Lindsay and that, they can't be too aggressive and get too close, because that'll happen. They'll make fouls, and then they'll give Leeds an opportunity. With the quality of Somerville, he could put it on a sixpence, and if he can deliver us like that, then this Preston team are going to have to defend.
Free kick in this one. It's a little flatter and more direct. Appeals for a handball, waved away. I mean, I'll tell you what, they've got very good eyesight, the Leeds United supporters in this stand away to our left hand side. Is it the opposite end of the ground? But they felt there was a handball inside the penalty area, and now they're being mocked by the Preston North End supporters, as you can hear. Leeds have possession on halfway though, out wide down that left hand side with Spence, as the cries of handball continue with every pass that Leeds United make. Here is Roden inside the centre circle. Strike on that far side again, wide to Spence, who's got a little bit of space away from Holmes once more. Holmes now can close him down though, and has got Potts there to assist him if required. In the end, he ends up going short to Rutter, and Rutter has skipped away from Holmes. Rutter inside the penalty area at the byline, pulls it back across. James takes it down, can't get the shot away, and it's well blocked at the edge of the 6-yard box by Lindsay, and it's gone out for what will be a corner on this right-hand side to Leeds.
Yeah, good play from Rutter there. Good change of pace, past Dwayne Holmes. Nearly picks out Dan James, and the ball was just a little bit too high, but it gets his shot off in a corner for Leeds. But you can feel the momentum and the pressure coming from this Leeds team now.
12 minutes to go to half-time. Remains 0-0 on Talksport 2. A reminder, at half-time we'll be heading down to the South Coast to look ahead to this afternoon's Premier League game between Bournemouth and Fulham. Here's the corner down the right-hand side for Leeds. Somerville gets it in, and it's headed away, and again it's Liam Lindsay who's right in the heart of the defensive work being done for Preston North End with a good clearing header. But Leeds have possession just on halfway. Kamara, ball at feet to Ampadu. Ampadu will try and make things happen. Kamara to his left. Now on that far side he finds Spencer. Potts nips in nicely. Looks for some options, just opens his arms and says who wants it, and Miller gets it down this left hand side for Preston North End, running towards the edge of the penalty area. Here's Miller cutting inside on his right foot, then cuts it across to his left. Lovely bit of skill on the right foot, bends one, and Meslier turns it over the crossbar, and it's a terrific save from a wonderful effort from Liam Miller.
Yeah, again it comes from Brad Potts, nicking the ball off of Somerville there, driving with the ball out to Miller, and he's the one again for Preston, causing Archie Gray a lot of problems here on this right hand side. Leeds right hand side, Preston's left hand side, cuts inside, and it's a good save from Meslier.
Yeah, it was down the centre of the goal, but Meslier had to be alert because it was certainly heading into the roof of the net. They have a corner on the right hand side this time though, Preston. Now what can they do? Miller's lurking at the edge of the penalty area, and there are 5 white shirts inside the box, but the one white shirt seems to be upsetting referee Smith, and it's a talking to for Whiteman, who's inside the 6-yard box. There's 5 all gathered in a group now for Preston around the penalty spot. We suspect at some point they're all about to split and charge, and Potts is the first one to make the run at the near post as it's swung over towards Potts, can't find him, almost came out to Miller. Jed Spence's header away. They'll look to try and find 2 or 3 offside here as they load it back in. It comes off of Spence again, appeals for handball, not given. Here's Miller on the run again, down this left hand side, edge of the box. Twisting feet, tantalising. Spence, who's gone out wide, and James, and Hughes tries to cross first time, and it's out for another corner down this left hand side. Much better from Preston. Corner down the left this time. Alan Brown will come across to deliver with that right foot of his. And you can listen to the applause from the home support as he arrives by the corner flag. 299th league start for Alan Brown today. They've got Sheffield Wednesday here at the weekend. That will be his 300th start, I'm fairly sure. Here's his corner, right foot is swung in under the keeper, and Meslier has to palm it away. That was nipping in from Alan Brown, almost took Meslier unaware. He did well to get across. That's back in towards Potts. Spence will win it. He picks it up right by the corner flag on that left-hand side, and will look to bring it clear for Leeds, which he does in a fairly direct way up towards Somerville, but Holmes will get there and win the header first. And Kamara there is manhandling Brown, surely. Referee says no. Holmes has it on the right-hand side as they look to deliver again here. Preston comes out towards Miller on this left-hand side, but Gray will get there first. He's closed down and under plenty of pressure from Brown, who does brilliantly to win it back. Brown inside the penalty area. Gray looks to make the challenge. Brown goes down. No interest because he got the ball. Here's Miller, who then goes down, and that is a foul from Archie Gray, and that's going to be a free kick, level with the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, good pressure from Preston there. You know, but again, Miller, as the cross comes in, he's too far wide. He's got to be in that back post. But Alan Brown wins it back off Archie Gray. Going in, Miller goes and commits a foul. But, you know, good opportunity. Preston coming back into this game.
Dangerous position for this.
It's a brilliant delivery. Last free corner from Alan Brown.
He's got real quality in that right foot swinging in. This is a great angle as well. It's level with the 6-yard box. It's about 4 yards outside the penalty area on this left-hand side. Is he going to aim for those at the back post again, or is he going to try and catch Meslier out once more with this free kick? It's Brown to deliver, and he goes towards the near post, and he puts it into the side netting. And certainly Meslier had that one covered.
Yeah, I think it's not a great delivery, but it was the perfect opportunity for him just to roll it to probably the penalty spot for Whiteman there. Just sat on the edge of the box, just as Ali McCann run into the box, you know, the space had opened up, and if he'd got his head up, he probably just rolled in for a free shot for Whiteman.
Brown, of course, pretty decent from set pieces, and you'd know about that, Charlie.
Well, yeah, I did a couple in my day, but no, listen, I think it's really important. If you've got somebody that can actually have good set plays, good delivery, and consistent with it, then it gives your team a chance to score goals. And we know now set plays can win you a game, but also they could lose if you don't defend them well.
Charlie Adam alongside us here on Talksport to it deep down this lunchtime, and quite rightly so. Ben Whiteman's been told to get up.
Yeah, that's another thing. That was a bit of a Charlie Adam special there, a little bit of a dive, but no, he tried to con the referee and get a foul. It was never a foul, and Leeds now have a throw.
Why is he not booked him then, Charlie?
I don't know. It's just the inconsistency, isn't it? Yeah. It's a blatant dive, and he's trying to con the referee for a foul. You know, if you book him and it sets a marker, but it's no, it's the way it is officiating. Everybody's different. They see the game different.
Throwing again to Leeds down this right hand side, taken short by Gray, who finds Ampadu on halfway, who just gave that away. Stroke was rushing to get there, and it almost fell nicely to Brown. It's hacked clear that time by Lindsay, or by Watmore should I say, on that occasion, who's done well. Here's Hughes down this left hand side, in short to Miller. He's advancing inside to the Leeds penalty area, goes back towards his own goal, and back again to Lindsay, who then finds Watmore again towards halfway, edge of the centre circle, on his right foot, looking for some options ahead of him to open up. Holmes goes down, shoving the back from Jed Spence. Free kick goes Preston's way, just inside the Leeds half. I
think the two centre-backs of Preston, Lindsay and Watmore, they have more time than they actually think. I think once you try to commit somebody and you wait, and they start to panic. If they just wait and stand on the ball and allow someone from Leeds, maybe a Somerville or Dan, to jump and bounce around them, that's their opportunity to get out. Brad Potts is free all the time because Somerville is overtucking in, and that's their out ball, out to Brad Potts, and then you can attack from that right hand position.
Here they are on the right hand side again. Holmes cutting infield, slips it into Potts inside the box on his right foot, stands that one up, and it's headed clear from the edge of the 6-yard box by Ampadu, and it needed to be as well. Yeah, really nice bit of play.
Yeah, good play from Holmes, and Potts there gets on the half turn and tries to dink one over, and again opportunity for Alan Brown to go and put it into an area where it can hurt this Leeds defence.
Corner from that right hand side for Preston. 5 minutes to go to half time on Talksport 2. It remains Preston 0, Leeds United 0. Going to be delivered by Brown. Miller's lurking at the edge of the box.
Opportunity here for the edge of the box.
There is Holmes is there as well. There's 6 inside the penalty. Every Leeds player is inside that box right now. Brown swings it in, edge of the 6-yard box, and the foul is given against Preston North End, and it will be a free kick for Leeds and a chance to clear their lines away to our left hand side.
Yeah, no, I just think try and mix up. I understand you have your routines in that, but as a player, and for me as somebody that wanted to take set play, it's something I'd always try and look for eye contact with somebody if it was on the edge of the box, or look for something where you can get across somebody earlier front. So yeah, it's just being imaginative, using your own imagination at times as well.
Woodman's done well. He's come down and volleyed that clear, and Spence has just gone back towards his own goal, and he's put a foot up, and he may have caught Osmajic, and eventually, yes, the referee does give the free kick. Osmajic went down. It was Spence with a challenge, and immediately Referee Jamie Smith is asking Osmajic if he wants treatment, but he took a while to blow his whistle.
Yeah, I didn't know why he didn't blow it straight away. It is a foul. It's a Preston free kick. No, it's not. It's a bounce ball.
He's having a drop ball because he thought Osmajic maybe had a face or a head injury. But it was a foul. I think there's no doubt about it.
It was a definite foul. You know, again, inconsistent of what we're actually seeing from sat up here. But no, it was a blatant foul from Spence on Osmajic.
Here's Rodon. Short he goes again. They look to build from the back once more. Leeds. Kamara just short of halfway. Under pressure. Good pressure as well from Alan Brown. He just doesn't stop working in that midfield for Preston. That's a good ball to Dan James on this right hand side. James away, lovely ball swinging in, couldn't beat the first man. The line of it was really good. It was going to be bouncing around that 6-yard area, but it was headed away by Lindsay. Lovely bit of skill from Miller, gets the better of Gray and then just floats a ball into no man's land. He was looking for Dwayne Holmes, but it lacked the power to get there. And Somerville now on a charge. Somerville towards the edge of the penalty area. Watmore is across and does brilliantly just to use his body to win the ball for Preston. And now Potts and Holmes combine on that right-hand side. Holmes slips the ball in for Osmajic down the right, edge of the penalty area, level with the 6-yard box, and he wins his side. The throw, no, it's gone Leeds way. On that far side by the corner flag.
It's amazing. It's amazing what he sees. You know, it's a throw-in for Preston there again. Little ball from Dwayne Holmes into the channel for Osmajic to chase. Gets you up the pitch, gets momentum, gets the crowd on your side, and the referee gives it the other way. But again, talk about Pirro there. Not really been in the match, has he? You know, he's had a couple of touches, but again, loses that ball, trying to do a little half turn. And you know, is there a possibility he maybe come off in that second half or early in the second half, because he's not really had much of the ball today.
Throwing on that far side for Leeds United, 5 yards from the corner flag. Spence is going to take, up the line he goes, flicked on by Luther, pick it up by Spence again, launched forward, up in the air by Lindsay, not the best of first headers. It allows Leeds to just try and find Somerville, but again Hughes is there with that big left foot of his to get it clear. Game of head tennis over halfway ensues. Picked up by James, lovely little flick with the outside of his boot to Pirro as he was trying to get towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's going to be a throw with Spence on the far side. Last 90 seconds of the half. I don't think there'll be too much added time at the end of this first period. Remains 0-0 on Talksport 2. Reminder off the South Coast at half-time to look ahead to this afternoon's live and exclusive Premier League game between Bournemouth and Fulham. That will be at half-time. Newcastle still leading Forest in the early kickoff that's over on Talksport right now. Reminder, across the next few days, bringing you every Premier League game from this match round live and exclusive across the Talksport network. Plus, of course, today here we've got 3 of these huge championship commentaries for you. More championship games, of course, Friday night. Full programme, actually, across the board on Friday evening in the EFL. We've got a couple of commentaries for you from Southampton and also West Brom against Leeds. Here's Miller on the charge, opening up for him. Maybe he's just overrun it at the edge of the box. In comes Brown with a challenge. Down goes Kamara. And the clash of the number 8s on this instance, well, I think it was won by Brown, but Kamara's come off worse.
Yeah, brilliant piece of skill from Glenn Kamara there. Just rolls it with one leg and flicks it with the other. It's brilliant. Alan Brown, you know, you'd think he was fully committed there, and he catches Glenn Kamara. But not worth the booking. But again, you could see the intensity of Preston. They want to try and win the ball back. It was, you know, if your opposition player or the Preston player, you're happy with that foul. But you know, Glenn Kamara, good bit of skill.
He's up and about. No need for the trainer. 2 minutes added at the end of this first half. Then here at Deepdale, remains 0-0, and it's a free kick for Leeds United midway inside their own half. It's Ampadu. Neither goalkeeper, well, Melior's been the busier of the 2 keepers for sure. A couple of saves he's had to make, but Woodman has just mainly been mopping up at the back because his defensive unit have made 2 or 3 really crucial blocks. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Holmes is in here down the right-hand side. He's got Osmajic in the middle. Holmes just checks his run, looks to cut inside, now goes outside, coming back inside again, tees it up at the edge of the box for McCann, who fires over the crossbar. And you kind of feel that indecision maybe cost Holmes then. He was on a direct run towards goal. and it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think he does the right thing because there's no space really, and by the time he's ahead of Osmanic, if he puts it in, there's nowhere else. Osmanic was never going to get in the end. He tried to use a bit of quality. It's cut back in. Unfortunately, Finale puts it over the bar, but no. I think Ryan Lowe will be very, very happy in terms of performance he put out so far this half. Leeds have been good box to box, but again, not really created too much in that box or really had to work Woodman. So yeah, no, I think Ryan will be delighted if he can get to 0-0 for the first half.
We've had a minute of the two added at the end of this first half. They've got some defending to do. Ruter out wide to that left-hand side. Finds Spence. Spence infield to Kamara towards the edge of the penalty area. Somerville's gone short, but it's back with Spence. Kamara again, 30 yards out. Not scored this season for Leeds United. Here's Ampadu. Ampadu's going to try a shot which takes a deflection, and Woodman will comfortably gather inside his 6-yard area away to our right-hand side, and I suspect that will be the final action of this first half. Going to be cleared here by Woodman from hand away to our right-hand side. The referee checks his watch once as the clock ticks round to the 2 added minutes. Woodman's taken about 40 seconds to take this kick, and he does in the end, and no wonder the home support around us are applauding. An excellent 45 minutes from Preston, in which they've had the better of the chances. They've certainly made Meslier make a couple of really good saves, and they've dealt with most of the Leeds danger well away to our right-hand side in the Preston goal. No wonder Holmes and Osmanic are having a hug. It's been a hard shift in the opening 45 minutes. Charlie Adams alongside me. In fact, just give you a quick update from the Premier League. Newcastle 1, Forest 1 now, as they head towards half-time in the game that's over on Talksport right now. It's Newcastle 1, Forest 1 as things stand. Chris Wood with a stoppage time goal to equalise for Nottingham Forest, formerly, of course, of Newcastle. Back to the game here at Deepdale, and Charlie, I mean, you just said it, Ryan Lowe's going to be happy, isn't he? Miller's forced some good stops from Meslier, and they've actually looked the more likely of scoring. Yeah,
they've had a couple of chances, and Ryan will be delighted in terms of what they've done. The structure's good. At times the distance has got too big, and that's where Preston have been able to Leeds have been able to cause problems at the back of Dwayne Holmes when Brad Potts comes into Somerville into sort of half pocket 8 position. But to be fair to Dwayne Holmes, he's caused Spence problems the other way, and nearly at the back end of that half there, if he just got in behind, but used his composure not to really just put it in for the sake of it. And I think Ryan will be delighted with what they're doing. They just need to clean up a little bit. If they get too tight, and the runners off of midfield for this Leeds team can cause you problems.
If you are Daniel Farker, you know that your team can play a lot better than that. I mean, you said it as the game went on, you could start to see the patterns of play and the shape that they were looking for. What do you think he's going to be saying, Arkan? Just keep doing what you're doing, but maybe with a bit more urgency.
Yeah, I just think they need to bring a little bit more intensity when they get in that final third. Once they break the line, then go commit, up the tempo of the game. I think it's too slow in the final third for Leeds, and when we get to that final third, can we really go and create and cause problems? Because at the moment, box to box, no problem. Within the 2 boxes, build-up's good. They're trying to get overloads. They're getting in there. It's that final little bit where, if Leeds can do that, then they can get better opportunities to score goals. But it's been a good championship game, and let's say Preston probably could have been ahead with the opportunities they've had, but you could always see that Leeds team are dangerous on the counter-attack as well. Thoughts
of Charlie Adam, who's alongside me, Adam Bridge, here at Deepdale this afternoon for our early kick-off here on Talksport 2. We're at half-time, it's 0-0. In the Premier League at half-time, it's St James's Park. In the game that's live over on Talksport, it's Newcastle United 1, Nottingham Forest 1. And when we come back, we'll be looking ahead to our live and exclusive Premier League commentary that's here on Talksport 2 this afternoon. That's between Bournemouth and Fulham, and we look ahead to that next.
EFL Live on Talksport 2. For football fans, New Year means one thing: new signings. Daily transfer window updates on Talksport with Intuit QuickBooks. Listen to White and Jordan weekday mornings from 10 and get the inside track on all the movement in the transfer market from the most well-connected men in football.
And they're back in the game!
The big money business, the last-minute loans, the superstar signings.
What a debut!
Stay ahead of the game with daily transfer window updates on Talksport with Intuit QuickBooks. That's how you business differently.
Sylvia's driving her grandkids. The same journey every Friday, the same age-appropriate playlist. And even though the wheels on the bus go round and round and round, Sylvia's unfazed. She knows her tyres will go round all day too. because she got a new set at QuickFit. So no matter what happens with her car, it's not tyres driving her up the wall. Book your new tyres at quickfit.com or visit your local QuickFit centre. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
With New Year around the corner, that means new jobs. So get everything you need in the Toolstation Early January sale. Get ready for the renovating rush with £80 off the Milwaukee Fuel Combi Drill. Save £10 on the Stanley Rechargeable Folding Work Light, now only £34.99. And suit up for any job with over £20 off the Scruffs Trade Holster Trousers. Right, we're all set. Shop in store, online or on the app. Toolstation. Click, collect, conquer.
A magical Christmas with Lidl means picking up a Good Housekeeping Best Supermarket Wine 2023. A Portuguese Douro Reserve for just $6.99. On an award-winning French Pitbull de Pinet for $7.49. Or a Spanish Rioja Crianza for just $5.99. Now that's big on quality and always little on price. Subject to availability, selected stores GB only.
McDelivery! You in?
Oh, am I? What a day. I need 6 chicken McNuggets, or maybe 9, or maybe 6 and a cheeky cheeseburger. Makes sense. With something sweet to follow, like an apple pie, or a McFlurry. Or I could get a milkshake instead. You know, a nice halfway house of drink and ice cream.
Jane, the game's just starting.
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry. I'm in.
There's nothing quite like a McDelivery. You in? At participating restaurants only. 18 plus. Serving times, delivery fees and terms apply. See app or mcdonalds.com for details.
Hey, how would you end this year on a high? By getting in a last-minute holiday for the holidays. Finally getting the old gang back together. Throwing the party of the year. Or how about winning on Lotto? Well, this Saturday, another huge £15 million Lotto jackpot must be won. Or thousands of you will win a share of the jackpot. It could be you. Lotto from the National Lottery. Play on app. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
We've got savings to sink your toes into at the Carpetright half-price sale. Don't miss huge discounts on hundreds of carpets. Totally awesome. Sorry, we couldn't resist. With stores nationwide, you'll get your new floor right with Carpetright. At home, in-store, online. Excludes fitting and services. T's and C's apply.
Wednesday night football triple shot of live Premier League action. Hear it on the radio or on the Talksport app.
Oh, it's in!
Swipe right for Everton versus Manchester City on Talksport. Kick off 8:15. Swipe left for Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Kick off 7:30 on Talksport 2. Or hear Brentford versus Wolves at 7:30. Only on the Talksport app. It's a Premier League Talksport trio live this Wednesday night on Talksport, Talksport 2 and on the Talksport app.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Forest 2, Bournemouth 3. Dominic Solanke's hat-trick makes it 5 wins in 6 for Bournemouth.
We are not as bad as we were at the beginning. We are not as good as we look probably now. I think somewhere in between.
The second one finds Solanke inside the penalty area. He rounds the goalkeeper and scores the equaliser.
We're gelling together really well now, and I think that's coming out on the pitch. And yeah, we just want to continue to keep pushing.
Squares it into the centre, and Iwobi is there to tuck it in. 6 yards from goal.
It's a team that is playing amazing. It's playing very good positional play, very good attacking the spaces, very good 1-against-1.
Billy spots the keeper of his line. What a goal!
They are in a good moment too, and of course they are scoring goals. They are creating chances as well. They have a very strong line, attacking line, and they are able to create problems for us.
Their first ever victory at Old Trafford is confirmed. Full time. Manchester United 0, Bournemouth 3.
Really tough. It's always a tough place to go.
He runs up, stops, stutters, and sends it into the corner. The goalkeeper went the right way, but William was too accurate.
Going to be another difficult game. Every game's difficult in the Premier League.
Yeah, welcome back to Deep Down. A reminder, at half-time, it's still Preston 0, Leeds 0. Second half commentary to come with myself, Adam Bridge, and Charlie Adams shortly. Once we are done, at 3 p.m, we bring you another live and exclusive commentary from the Premier League as informed Bournemouth host Fulham, knowing that a result will take them into the top half of the table. The former Arsenal winger, Perry Groves, is going to be commentating on that game alongside the man who we can speak to now as they look ahead to today's game. It's Nigel Adler.
Yes, thank you, Adam. Welcome to a beautiful day here on the South Coast at Dean Court. Blue blue skies overhead. A bit chilly, Perry Groves, but we are set here for a game which should promise goals because Bournemouth are in terrific form and Fulham seem to guarantee goals either for or against at the moment.
Yeah, both teams will be on the front foot and obviously try and win the game. So Fulham aren't going to come here, and sit really deep and try and absorb the pressure. They had a strange result, didn't they? Fulham at home against Burnley, getting beat 2-0. But in that game, they still had 19 shots, and obviously they couldn't convert them. So most they've had since they played Burnley in October 2002 Everton, without scoring. So it all depends who's going to play up front for Fulham, but we know who's going to play up front for Bournemouth. Obviously, Dominic Solanke in fantastic form with his 11 Premier League goals this season. He only got 10 in his first 96 Premier League games, so he just show how Andone Iraola, the Bournemouth manager, has got the best out of him.
And how has he done that? Because he was a player who bounced around Chelsea and Liverpool, never really started, never looked like scoring when he came here in the Premier League when Bournemouth was struggling under Eddie Howe. But clearly, under Areola, something has clicked.
Well, he's turned him into an incredible Hulk, hasn't he? Because he's made him angry. Because I remember you said there, seeing him play under various managers, he's obviously a big physical presence, 6'4", 6'5", and he played like he was 5'11". He played like he was lacking confidence. To be fair, he just started to find some form at the end of last season under Gary O'Neill, because he had a good little relationship with Philip Billing. They had a good understanding. And I think what's happened with Andone Iraola coming in, Dominic Solanke is thriving on playing that high intensity, closing down from the front football that Bournemouth are playing now, because he sets the press off, and then Bournemouth obviously win the ball high up the pitch, they get their turnovers, and you got the creativity of Ryan Christian, Lewis Cook in that midfield area. So he's getting more chances created for him. We saw the two fantastic headers he got against Nottingham Forest, and that is a centre forward who's actually not overthinking stuff. He's just playing naturally, and that was very sort of Duncan Ferguson-like, Nigel, wasn't it? Both headers. So, I think it's just him believing in himself. You can tell in his body language that he's very, very confident. So, he started, as I said, to find his form at the end of last season.
Fulham, of course, lost their number 9 when Alexander Mitrovic went to Saudi Arabia. Raul Jimenez is suspended today, and we always wondered where the goals would come from, but they've done a good job so far of showing them around.
Yeah, exactly. They've had a couple of 5-0 victories, haven't they? Said sharing the goals around. We'll see if Wilson plays with Pierre and Alex Iwobi, if it goes 4-2-3-1, which he normally likes to do. And they've got, I think, someone in their midfield who's got the possibility of being one of the great Premier League players if he gets his move, and that's Paulinho, playing in that sort of centre midfield area. I think he could go on playing in the right side to be as good as Rodri, with better players around him, because I saw him at the Emirates earlier in the season. He was absolutely outstanding, where he's got a brilliant range of passing, he can hit long diagonal passes, and he gets himself into the box as well.
Thanks to Perry Groves for now. Looking forward to this one. Full commentary alongside Perry on Talksport 2. Our coverage begins after you, Adam, at 2:30.
Thank you, Nigel. I'm hoping Perry's brought the festive jelly babies today.
As always.
What more could you want? Happy Christmas to you both. Have a good afternoon, guys. They're on the way from about 2:30 today. Perry Groves and Nigel Adderley will guide you through another one of our exclusive games on our Bank Holiday Bonanza. 8 live games across the Talksport network. It's half-time in the game here at Deepdale. We have yet to have a goal though, but here are the best bits of the first half. Just when you thought you were done with the Christmas treats for another year, have no fear. The Talksport network is here. Here's Miller down this left-hand side. Onto the right foot, tries the shot, bends one in, and it just skips through. Brown was arriving, it was over his head, and it just skips past the left-hand post of Melier.
Positive play from Miller.
Here's Miller, cutting inside on his right foot, then cuts it across to his left. Lovely bit of skill. On the right foot, bends one! And Melier turns it over the crossbar. There we go. A few moments in the first half where potentially Preston could have taken the lead in this game. There'll be some quality to come from Leeds in the second half, that's for sure, when the teams are back out here shortly. I mentioned a few other games kicking off early today across the Championship, this Boxing Day, across the EFL, should I say, this Boxing Day. In League 2, Mansfield at half-time lead Grimsby by 2 goals 0. Also in League 2, it was a 1 o'clock kickoff at the Priestfield Stadium. It's Gillingham 0, Crawley 1. The early kickoff in League 1 between Leyton Orient and Charlton, that's goalless, and they're 29 minutes into the game there again. A 1 o'clock kickoff. And Millwall against Queen's Park Rangers, that was underway at 1 o'clock as well, and that remains goalless too here in the Championship. And a reminder, that Premier League game that's live over on Talksport, that's Newcastle United against Nottingham Forest, and that's 1 apiece at half-time. Isak's penalty cancelled out by a goal from Chris Wood, the former Newcastle striker, in stoppage time at the end of the first half. And in case you haven't understood yet, the way the day is panning out here across Talksport 2, we've got the second half coming up of Preston against Leeds with myself and Charlie Adam. Once that's done, we're off to the south coast for Bournemouth against Fulham at the Vitality with Nigel Adley and Perry Groves. At 5:15 today, we're back to Championship action, and the question is, can Wayne Rooney get 3 points? Stephen Schumacher's second game in charge, of course, of Stoke. That's Birmingham against Stoke. That's underway at 5:15, and that's followed up by the big one of the day tonight, 7:45 kickoff, Ipswich against Leicester. The top two in the Championship go toe-to-toe this Boxing Day, and that game is live and exclusive right here on Talksport 2. While over on Talksport, it's Premier League action all the way with that Newcastle Forest game, followed by Around the Grounds. Adrian Durham with you this afternoon. This Boxing Day, plenty of games to get your teeth into from 2:30 this afternoon on Talksport. That'll be followed by Burnley against Liverpool, another game that's live and exclusive to national radio on Talksport, and then finishing up the day with Manchester United against Aston Villa. What a day of football, and you can follow it here across the Talksport network. Well, we have Preston, and we finally have the arrival of Leeds United. Slightly slow coming out. Let's run you through the lineups then as they were at the end of the first half. So Woodman is in goal for Preston North End. So back four today of Potts, Watmore, Lindsay and Hughes. Then in midfield it's McCann, Whiteman, Brown and Miller, with Holmes and Osmajic leading the line. Leeds, no changes for them at half-time. So Mellier's in goal. It's Gray, Rodon, Strout and Spence across the back. Ampadu and Kamara in midfield, with James, Piero and Somerville providing the support to Ruter, who will lead the line. As it was then, Charlie Adam, for the start of this second half. What does this second period promise us?
I think that Leeds, if they up the tempo and they can really focus on being positive and being direct in this second half, getting Somerville 1v1 in a wide area against Potts, then it gives them a chance. But you know, Preston, you know, they will sit in, they'll wait, and they'll have to counter-attack. But when they counter-attack, they've got to make the right decisions. And if they could do that, then they could cause Leeds problems.
That's brilliant from Dan James on that right-hand side. He's won his team a throw. A free kick, should I say, 10 yards inside the Preston half, as Leeds are now attacking their supporters away to our left-hand side. We are off and running in this second period here on Talksport 2. And it's with Somerville out wide on this left-hand touchline. Holmes in close attention, does brilliantly to win the ball back, and now goes away with it. He's got Brown down the middle, he's got Osmajic in the centre. To the right-hand side, striding forward is Potts, but Spencer's got the pace to get there before him. Plays the ball back across into his own penalty area, and it's dealt with by Stroud, and put out on this near side for a throw-in.
Yeah, good recovery speed from Spencer, but you know, threw it, passed it into Struik, and he just should have put his foot through it. He was in two minds to clear it with his left or clear it with his right. But again, the reaction there of Somerville when he loses it wasn't great. Just put his hands in the arms if like it was a foul. It was never a foul.
Well, Alan Brown's been penalised there. I'm not too sure what for. It's going to be a free kick for Leeds towards the edge of their own penalty area. We're talking about Talksport's marathon of games today. Where are you going after we're done today?
I'm off to Birmingham Stoke, sorry. So 5:15 kick-off.
Double game day for you as well.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's getting an opportunity to go and watch some games. Sometimes when you're coaching a lot, you can't get out. But you know, part of my job is to look after loans. So we got Luke McNally on loan at Stoke, and be good to go and have a look and see what Birmingham have got under Wayne Rooney.
Miller on the far side. Oh, he's done brilliantly, Miller. Oh no, he's saying the ball had gone out of play. Well, the assistant's not flagged it, but just at that moment it looked like Miller was away.
Yeah, he was off there, isn't it?
He's given the free kick.
Oh, didn't see a foul, but
interesting.
That's why we're sat up here and not down there as a referee.
Well, I'm not so sure about that from what we've seen in the first half in particular. Charlie Adam alongside me, Adam Bridge here at Deepdale this afternoon on Talksport 2. And it's Leeds United who have possession midway inside their own half as they look to get going at the start of this second half. Stroke, the captain, out wide on this left-hand side. Somerville's just got a yard on Holmes there, but Holmes has closed him down quickly, and Somerville almost lost possession. Potts comes across as well, and between the two of them, they tag team the ball into touch for what will be a throw on this near side for Leeds United, level with the 6-yard box.
Definitely a threat, isn't he? He's got pace. He's not the biggest. He's short, but really, speedy, and good chance.
Ruter's done well, but that's gone out of play. Well, it looked like it had gone out of play before he tried to pull it back, but instead the assistant gives, or the referee gives the corner on this near side for Leeds United. Another chance from a set piece for Somerville to try and put some quality in here for Leeds, right in front of their supporters. 3 minutes into the second half, 0-0 it remains. And it's Somerville who will deliver down this left-hand touchline on his right foot again, arms in the air, swings it edge of the 6-yard box, bounces down, and he's cleared away by Whiteman from the edge of the 6-yard box. And on that far side, Miller is just muscled out of it by Dan James, and Leeds will keep possession midway inside the Preston half. Here's Spence slips the ball in, James is on the chase inside the area, James gets there, pulls it back, Ruter was coming in, but also Piru. But the challenge in the end was brilliant. Was it McCann?
Whiteman it was. Brilliant change of speed from Dan James. We know he's got that pace. Quality pass in between the full-back and centre-back. Gets onto it and uses composure to cut it back. But again, Whiteman in a good position there to stop the shot from Pirro, or he would have strolled into the net.
They have defended well, haven't they? They've got some really good blocks in whenever Leeds have got inside the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Great box defending. It's what you have to do. You have to put your body on the line, and there Ben Whiteman is in a good position there to stop that shot from Pirro going in the net.
Throwing on that far side for Preston. Given short once more. And it's back with Woodman. And now it'll be brought forward by Watmore. To halfway, turned round the corner that time by Alan Brown, but into touch for a throw on this near touchline, which Spence will take, playing in that unaccustomed left-back position, of course. We know him from his time in the Championship at Forest and Middlesbrough as a right wing-back most of the time, and a very effective one at that. Antonio Conte was in charge at Spurs when they bought him. I think he made it fairly clear he didn't want him, and since then he's been palmed out wherever possible. Has Jed Spence.
But he can play a number of positions, can't he? So it gives him an opportunity to play more regular, because he can play a number of positions, But again, it's difficult when you go in and maybe not the manager signed him, Conte at Tottenham, and maybe didn't want him, so he's just basically said, "Nah, we don't want to sign you." So no, he's out playing now in good club at Leeds United.
Only his 4th start of the season for Leeds United. Injury robs him of a couple of months after his time at Rennes last campaign. Not the only one who spent time at Rennes last season. Joe Rodon as well, another Spurs player who's on loan. He spent his time at Rennes too. Wide on the right-hand side, it's Archie Gray. Back in field to the aforementioned Rodon, who has it on halfway. Into the feet, that time on the halfway line of Ruter. Comes short, now a chance to break through. Osmajic inside the penalty area. Pascal Strout, just stronger than him, managed to hold him off and win the ball and puts it out for a throw.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul. It was good aggressive play from Preston, and Osmajic just never had that pace to get away from Strout. But that first pass off and gets a foul, gets a throw up the pitch.
This one's level with a penalty spot, taken short. McCann has it, clips it over the top and out of play, and it will be a throw on that far side again for Preston. That time coming off Dan James, who was doing some defending deep for Leeds. We've had 6.5 minutes of the second half. Remains 0-0 on Talksport 2. That's straight into the box. Osmajic with a layoff inside the penalty area, and again the home support desperate for a penalty kick that was never coming on that occasion for the challenge on Whiteman. But they've kept the ball and they have it on halfway. Potts, right hand side, laid out to Holmes. Holmes closed down by Spence. Back towards Potts again. Infield, they go once more. And it's all the way back with Watmore and Woodman away to our left-hand side. Started 68 in a row before that game against Swansea on Friday night, and suddenly found himself on the bench. Replaced by David Cornell for his first appearance in the league for Preston. Here's Potts, floated ball into the box. Meslier goes up for it and gathers it at the edge of the 6-yard box. Well, there's a little bit of afters there, Meslier and Whiteman again. Oh, and then we've got some rolling around on the floor, and it's a red card. The red card is out, and it was the reaction, I think, as he went to the ground. And the red card is shown by the referee. And there was fury and rage. Meslier with the initial toe-to-toe with Whiteman, and, well, after all of that rolling around, Osmajic is up and about. Charlie Adams here with his arms folded. Charlie, what did you make of that as Meslier makes his way off the pitch?
I think it's a red card. I think he has 2 attempts at trying to push somebody in the face. And he the second one, he doesn't get away with it. The first one he gets away with, the referee doesn't. But again, Osmajic goes into him, he pushes him in the face. I think it's a red card. And it's silly from Meslier because he comes for the cross. And he's been really confident all game, and he does that and he puts his team under pressure. But for me, I think it's a red card.
Well, you can't raise your hands, that's for sure. I mean, Osmajic's response.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that.
5 rolls on the floor.
Yeah, I don't think it's not great from Osmajic, but again, Meslier, he has a go. He has a go at Ben Whiteman, goes head to head, and then it's a red card. Yeah, he shoves him in the face.
He does, yeah. The right hand of Meslier, a shove in the face, and Osmajic, as he was rolling around on the floor, maybe did make the most of it, but Joel Smith, the referee, gives the red card. The irony of all this is it's been put down as a goal kick away to our right-hand side, and we're waiting for the arrival of Carl Darlow, who is the substitute keeper for Leeds United. So Leeds are down to 10 men. Darlow is still getting himself prepared. We'll see who is going to be the sacrificial lamb from the Leeds United dugout, and it's going to be Pirot who's the player who's coming off.
Yeah, I did say Pirot would come off. I think he's had a quiet afternoon, but again, the goalkeeper, you know, when you're trying to get a promotion or you're away from home, you don't need to lift that crowd, because they've been there with the Preston players all game so far, and moments like that you don't need to be doing something silly. And Meslier does something stupid, it's a red card, and all of a sudden, you know, they've got a good goalkeeper in Carl Darlow to come on now.
Yeah, first time in the league that Carl Darlow has strapped on the gloves for Leeds United after joining from Newcastle in August. Of course, 9 years he had at Newcastle. He had some spells out at Forest and Hull on loan, of course. April was his last league appearance, and he will take the gloves away to our right-hand side, and Leeds are down to 10 men. No argument for raising your hands, but I hate to see the way Osmajic responded with a little bit of rolling around on the floor that was probably fairly unnecessary. So Darlow with a chance to have the ball away to our right-hand side. We march on together, coming away to our left-hand side from the Leeds United supporters, who are marching on together, they say, as they try with 10 men to rally themselves in this game. A reminder, it is still 0-0.
What it does, Adam, is it lifts the crowd, doesn't it? Brings the atmosphere, a little bit of intensity to it now. It's important that Osmajic keeps his head and he doesn't get involved in anything silly, because the Leeds players now will try to get involved with him. They want to try and get him booked, try and get him sent off. So it's important that he keeps his head, and Preston now trying, with that extra man, use it well.
Now Meslier going toe-to-toe with Whiteman originally, and then shoving Osmajic in the face, earning him that straight red from Josh Smith. You just can't do it. They know you can't do it.
No, and that's the thing, is there's that many eyes now that, you know, you're never going to get away with it, and it's just a moment of madness from Meslier.
I think regardless of the way Osmajic responded, he has still found himself on the end of a red card. Here's Miller on that far side. How do Preston respond now? So they've got the extra man. Does it change the game plan, or do you carry on as well?
Keep playing the way they are. You know, I think if they could have that extra pass to entice Leeds out, because Leeds now will look to try and sit in and maybe counter-attack with the speed of Somerville and Dan James. So it's important that Preston use that extra man.
Miller, early ball in. Brown with the header! Alan Brown for Preston North End! And within 2 minutes of being down to 10 men, Leeds are behind in the game. It's Miller's cross of real quality, and Alan Brown's header is beyond the new keeper Darlow and into the bottom corner. And with 12 minutes gone in the second half, it's Preston North End 1, Leeds United 0.
Yeah, it's brilliant from Miller, isn't it? He's been the right bright spark in that first half. Now second half, cuts back inside and he delivers a beautiful ball over the top of the centre back Roden, and Alan Brown gambles, takes it past Kip Darlow. 1-0 Preston.
4 goals for the season for Alan Brown. All have come in the last 9 games. You can always rely on him. He's been at the club since 2014. He stood out today, but that delivery from Miller, that's a great header.
He actually gets ahead of Jed Spence. He runs off the back of the centre-backs and gets in front of Jed Spence. So, brilliant for Alan Brown. Great header, and Miller's been the real positive for Preston today so far.
Leeds then with work to do. Down to 10 men and now trailing by a goal to 0. They have been punished. As Brad Potts is fouled, and it's a free kick for Preston midway inside their own half.
Yeah, just like I said, Ryan have known that Leeds would have had a lot of the ball, and it's important that they stayed in the game, and when they had the ball to cause it from set plays and things like that. But Miller at times, his first half caused great problems, and again they're not close enough, lets him come inside and delivers a wonderful ball, and there's nothing that, Preston are not, it's not a surprise. Preston have done well in the game.
Long ball over the top here for Miller to chase down that left-hand side. Miller got a chance to run at Gray. He does on his right foot, edge of the box. Gets it back that time from Osmaic. Not the best of passes out wide on that left-hand side on that occasion to Hughes. And in fact, it's all the way back with Lindsay inside, sorry, with Whiteman inside the centre circle. Now gives it out wide to Lindsay. Whiteman's just dropped in between the two centre halves right now, allowing a little more freedom for Miller and Potts on that right-hand side. And I wonder whether this is a slight change in formation here from Ryan Lowe, and maybe Whiteman's going to drop in there as a third centre half potentially.
Yeah, it just looks like Ali McCann's going a little bit higher and Whiteman's going to sit, try and use Ali McCann's running power from midfield to go there and let Whiteman try and get on the ball and pass it, especially with Leeds being the man down.
Here's Potts on this right-hand side. Whiteman now roving around, and they're just happy to keep the ball here and frustrate this.
Good, that's exactly. If I'm Ryan Lowe, I'm delighted what they're doing. Don't force it, just keep building, and the opportunities will come, because the Leeds players, Kamara, Ampadu, or maybe someone, they'll jump from the slot and they'll be able to pick them off.
Well, Joe Rodon and Osmaic were also booked for their part in that incident as well. So I don't think Osmaic has got away scot-free for his rolling around.
No, but there was nothing in it, was there? It was just a simple catch for the goalkeeper Meslier, and all of a sudden he gets into bother, and he has 2 pushes really, 2 separate players, and then unfortunately for him he ends up getting a red card.
Well, I know it's Boxing Day and all that, but we don't need raised hands around us here at Deepdale. And really, he's cost his side, because they not only are down to 10 men, but within minutes, the first thing really Carl Darlow's had to do is to pick the ball out the back of the net from that great header from Alan Brown. Here's Whiteman again. This little tweak there, completely changed shape.
It's amazing now as a Preston player, the pitch seems big, the spaces are so much bigger, you can enjoy yourself, but it's important that they stick to the plan of what they want to do. Don't get over anxious and go, keep playing, use that spare man, move Leeds side to side and wait for that opposite side and try and cause them problems and get runners in behind.
Our Premier League commentaries are underway today over on Talksport. Newcastle against Forest, it was 1-1 at half time. It's now Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Chris Wood with his second goal of the game. Forest coming from behind to lead at Newcastle in the early kickoff. That's live and exclusive on Talksport. Of course, download the app. You can swipe between Talksport 2.
Amazing. Remember when Newcastle actually signed them, when they were under that bit of pressure, went for the relegation, they got them out.
Certainly did. Here's Potts on a charge through the middle. Just opened up for him, and rather than continue into the space, he just waited a moment where he finds Brown, who drills it in, hits Potts, who had continued his run on the way through. He's got Holmes alongside him. Potts just sends him away and says that just move out there and collect the ball. Little 1-2 with Brown, but inside the box, Holmes goes down. No penalty, as the ball was won that time by Spence and Kamara between them. Brown goes in for the challenge against Ruter. Good feet from Ruter to break his way over halfway. Ruter smuggled away from 3. Now he's got Somerville away down this left-hand side. Danger for Preston. Somerville inside the box. has the ball towards the byline, still at his feet. Somerville does brilliantly, and in the end it's Watmore that has to put it out of play.
Yeah, 3 or 4 challenges there. Rutter gets through. Somebody from Preston has to really get tight and take the ball off him. But again, Somerville with that pace on the counter-attack, Preston have to be careful that they don't commit too many people forward.
Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 3. Chris Wood hat-trick.
Wow.
All in the space of 15 minutes. Funny old game football, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sometimes it comes back to bite you.
Somerville in short with a clipped one, and he was just trying to find the foot there at the near post for a flick of Rutter, but actually it's gone off Rutter and behind for a goal kick away to our left-hand side for Preston. Oof, what an opening to the second half it's been. 17, almost 18 minutes gone, and it remains Preston North End 1, the 10 men of Leeds 0. Who just joined us, Meslier sent off, having squared up to Ben Whiteman and then shoving Osmajic in the face. Despite the theatrical response of Osmajic, it was always going to be a red card. You just cannot lift your hand to a player and shove him in the face nowadays.
It's important now that Miller and Holmes want to run in behind and not keep coming to the ball and causing themselves problems.
That's just a run away from Kamara in the middle of the park. Here's Potts down the right-hand side. Early he goes to Alan Brown, who hasn't stopped running in the 3 minutes we played so far. He got his goal, but he's been exceptional aside from that.
Yeah, and that's what you get with him, isn't it? You know, real captain, wants to drive the team forward, but it's, you know, I said about Holmes and Miller, stay high and wide, keep that back 4 intact, and then the spaces will be even bigger for Ampadu and Kamara to try and to get there, because you've got people like Ali McCann who can run in behind Alan Brown. That allows Whiteman to get on the ball and build within that back 3 of Hughes, Watmore and Lindsay.
Down the right hand side, Potts is in a fair bit of space here as they take advantage of the extra man that Preston have. He's asking for some movement, which comes from Holmes in the end, and then Holmes does brilliantly through the legs of Spence, cuts it across the 6-yard area. Again, Brown was coming in, Osmajic was looking for it as well, and in the end it's over the bar from Brown on the edge of the penalty area, and it'll be a goal kick for Leeds United.
Great little spell from Dwayne Holmes there, through the legs and then, you know, cross, but Alan Brown takes his shot after his goal. He's high in confidence, and no, it's important that these Preston fans don't get anxious in terms of when the Preston lads are trying to build and stay on the ball to attract other things or attract people out of the position. Something maybe they're not used to. They want to get it early and get it forward. Let them build the pockets. The opportunities will come for Preston to pick Leeds off if they stay strong on the ball and they're comfortable, and they'll get opportunities.
They'd only won 2 of their last 5 away from home prior to today. Their best work is done at Ellen Road in this recent run of form that they've had. But today, well, I mean, there's an interesting one. The assistant was flagging the other way to give that throw to Preston, but the referee said no. And it was quite clearly a Leeds United throw on this left-hand side. There are changes coming for the visitors. Obviously, they've already made one in taking off Piru to be replaced by Darlow in goal after the red card, and referee says play on here because Strout was taking down Osmajic. It's a ball in from Holmes that's cleared out at the near post, and the referee said he played the advantage as Alan Brown remonstrates with him. I think we're going to see a triple change coming for Leeds United. On that far side, I can see 3 substitutes preparing themselves, but they've got defending to do here for a corner for Preston on this right-hand side, which is going to be taken again by Brown. Score of the only goal of the game, which separates these 2 sides. Preston 1, Leeds 0. We'll be heading to the south coast to get the team news from the Vitality ahead of Bournemouth against Fulham, which is our 3 o'clock commentary today. We'll get that for you in about 5 minutes time or so. Here's the corner from Brown down the right hand side, gone to the edge of the box. Holmes is there, one touch, tries the shot, blocked, and well blocked at the edge of the penalty area by Rutter. Nodded back into the danger zone. Strout gets it out, only as far as Holmes again on this near side. Rutter is there once more. Big, good strength from Rutter, and just as he's pulling away, the referee blows the whistle, and we'll have the substitutions from the far side, and this triple change coming now. And we're going to see Somerville is the first player who is going to depart for Leeds United. Matteo Joseph is the player that's coming on to replace him, should I say. So Joseph, the 20-year-old, born in Spain, plays for the England under-21s. He's on. Wilfred Gnonto is coming on to replace Jed Spence, an Italian international, and the second of the changes. And then the final change, we'll see Glenn Kamara come off, and Ilya Gruif is the player that is coming on to replace him. So triple change from Leeds United.
Yeah, you got to freshen it up, especially with being down 10 men, have a go. Preston are playing with one up front, so you can afford to put a couple of extra players higher up as well. So, Gnonto's going over on that right-hand side. Both real pace, James and Gnonto as well.
To see if it changes their shape at all. What we shall see. And there's a foul immediately down in front of us. And it's Ruter with a foul on Ben Whiteman. And the free kick is Preston's, and they're taking it quickly.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to a bit of a back three, isn't it? With wing-backs of James and Gnonto.
Certainly, we'll be tucking Archie Gray in maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, it looks like Archie Gray's going to go and play as a right centre-back.
Here's the header from Stroik on this near side. Potts is there. Potts does well just to hold off the attentions of Dan James. A little tug of the shirt. Referee gives nothing. Neither does the assistant, who was literally 2 or 3 yards away. Here is Potts, though, with the ball at feet again. Into Brown. Brown edge of the box on his left foot. He's sat back. He's bending that one. He's got a wand of a right foot. Not sure about the left.
Yeah, no, that was not great from Alan Brown there. But like I said, he's high with confidence with that goal, and had a couple of efforts he's had since he scored now.
Well, the other changes seen, as we mentioned, the introduction of Matteo Joseph, who's gone into that central position up top. So a little change around. Ruter maybe playing a little deeper in the role that Peru was playing early on in the game. Joseph slips over immediately as he tries to get his first touch as we approach the 70-minute mark here on Talksport. Down this right-hand side. Ball lifted forward, right-footed by Watmore towards the edge of the penalty area. Darlow can gather as Osmajic was closing in. And if we may see some action from Ryan Lowe on the Preston bench to respond to the fresh legs offered up by Leeds United. They've only got 10 men and they trail here by a goal to nil. Meslier, the player, sent off. And moments later, then about 2 minutes in total, Alan Brown had put Preston ahead. Here's Dan James down this left-hand side. Room to run here, still going. He's got Ruter out wide. Ruter towards the edge of the penalty area, now in the box. Goes towards the byline, and brilliant defending from Potts, who puts it behind for what will be a corner for Leeds United down this left-hand side.
Yeah, again, Watmore there, just playing a long ball up to Osmajic. He's up there on his own. It's very difficult. It's important that, like I say, don't get dragged into trying to play too many balls. There's opportunities to actually play through midfield here, and it looks like Ched Evans is going to come on, so Osmajic might be coming off as well.
Here comes the corner. Dan James now on duty since the departure of Somerville in that substitution. Right-footed, swings it to the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's well headed out by Liam Lindsay. Comes down again on this right-hand side for James, who's going to look to probably reload. He's actually going to try and run here at Holmes instead. On his right foot now, he tries to put it in, well blocked by Holmes. And McCann with a chance to break, and Miller wants it out wide. He's gone direct though. Osmajic is there, but he's committed the foul on Rodon in the process. And it's going to be penalised for that. There's a substitution coming here while he head to the Vitality and get the team news for our 3 o'clock kickoff between Bournemouth and Fulham from Nigel Adderley.
And 2 changes apiece. Alex Scott replaces Lewis Cook in the Bournemouth midfield. Justin Kluivert for Philip Billing behind Dominic Solanke. For Fulham, Kenny Tate and Bobby Decordova-Reid replace Timothy Castagna and Harry Wilson. We're underway at 3 o'clock here on Talksport 2.
Thanks, Nigel. It is Osmajic who's departing, and he's replaced by Ched Evans. Hasn't scored a goal since March as Ched, following that neck and spinal operation. Made his return here against Millwall. Went very close that day, but yet to find the back of the net since, and he's on as a substitute today. 8th appearance from the bench this campaign. And Leeds have it with Darlow inside his own penalty area, and he's closed down. And it's one, and Holmes will try and keep it in, which he does brilliantly. And then Ruter does run it out of play. And it'll be a throw in down this right-hand side. And immediately, Ched Evans putting the pressure there on Darlow, almost paid off.
Yeah, good pressure from Ched Evans there, putting Darlow under pressure. But again, what Roden and Struijk and Rick Gray will know is that Ched Evans will go and he'll go and fight it, he'll go and muscle it, but you know, he can hold it up for him, and he's will cause them problems. He will chase everything down.
Well, he's run that one out of play on this near side, and it'll be a throw for Leeds United midway inside.
Co-commentators curse there.
I was going to say, you did it very well there, Charlie, on cue. Here's a throw down this left-hand side. Reminder, once we're done here, we're off to the Premier League on Talksport 2. Well, that one's been head inside the box. Evans is going after it, but Darlow's going to get there to gather it. It's Bournemouth against Fulham from 3 with Perry and Nigel. And then from 5:15, we've got Birmingham City against Stoke City live for you from the EFL, followed by Ipswich against Leicester tonight, kicking off at 7:45. That's our quota of 4 live games on Talksport 2 today. Over on Talksport it remains Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 3, a Chris Wood hat-trick in the space of 15 minutes either side of half-time, putting Forest well in control of that game at St James's Park. Newcastle on a slippery slope right now, having lost to Luton at the weekend as well. That's out of play for a throw on this near side, which Leeds will take. That's followed up by Adrian Durham going around the grounds this afternoon. While on the Talksport app for you today, we've got commentary from 3 of Sheffield United against Luton, a huge game at the bottom of the table. And then a reminder, Burnley against Liverpool from 5:30, Manchester United against Villa from 8 o'clock, all exclusive on Talksport later today as our Boxing Day bonanza continues. We've only got 16 and a half minutes left here, plus time to be added on, of course. And it's Preston 1, Leeds 0. Leeds down to 10 men on Talksport 2. Here's Ruter, just tries to go between Miller and, on that occasion, Whiteman. He goes down, and it will be a free kick for Leeds, 5 or 6 yards inside the Preston half. Set pieces and stuff as well. Leeds will be looking now.
No, I think they'll still want to trust the principles of what they do. They'll try and build still. They want to try and find the pocket space, but what they want to try and do is get Nonto, want to get Dan James on the ball wide, 1v1, and like you say, see here, Struijk bombing on here in terms of overlapping to try and get up the pitch. So Leeds will start to throw the dice at the game and see what happens. Big chance.
Ampadu into Ruter. Ruter with a shot. Oh, he's put it wide from the edge of the penalty area. Deflection though, as he hit the shot with his left foot. It was the ball in from Ampadu. Took it on his right, shifted it to his left, and then the effort is just touched wide, I think, by the defender. He always took a deflection.
Yeah, it's brilliant play from Leeds. Real composure.
They're taking it short the corner. Back as far as Gray. Edge of the centre circle, closed down by Miller. Still finds Nonto on that far side. He's going to have to go all the way back to Darlow though, because the press from Preston North End was really good as they defend this 1-goal lead they have. 15 minutes remaining here. Remember, they've not won here since the 4th of November. Looking to get back to winning ways on home turf this Boxing Day. Down this left-hand side is James. James, infield. Picked up by Joseph. Joseph helps it back to Struijk. Here's Ethan Ampadu. Out wide to the left-hand side for James again. 3 white shirts ahead of him. Struijk goes down the line. That means Potts has to go with him. Ruter working hard. Tireless, in fact, you would say. Towards the edge of the penalty area. Just muscled off the ball that time by Ali McCann. And away by Potts, but only as far as halfway, where it was shepherded by Rodon. Ampadu again. And he's just keeping Preston hemmed inside their own half at the moment. Straight down this left-hand side. Coming forward for Leeds United. Into the feet of Ruter. Ruter on the charge. Goes towards halfway.
He's never gave up, has he, Ruter? He just keeps going.
Great. Down this left-hand side. Finds James. James on his right foot's going to hit one. Wow. I can't really find the words for that effort.
If you're Preston, that's exactly what you want. You want Dan James to get frustrated and end up having shots from 25, 30 yards out over your bar.
Elsewhere in the Championship, the 1 o'clock kickoffs, it's half-time. Millwall 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0 at the Den. A 1 o'clock kickoff there. Tom Bradshaw into added time at the end of the first half when he netted for Millwall. And a reminder, elsewhere in League 2, it's still Mansfield 2, Grimsby 0. That was also a 12:30 kickoff, and it's half-time. Gillingham 0, Crawley 1. And in League 1, just into the second half, Leyton Orient 0, Charlton 0. Here's at the edge of their own penalty area, Leeds United, with Struijk lifting it forward. Potts nods it down to Holmes. Holmes helps it on its way really nicely to Evans. Brown lets it run to Holmes, wide on this right-hand side, level with the penalty spot, looking to cut inside towards the edge of the penalty area, but again Struijk is across and does the defensive work. No sign of any more changes at this moment in time as we enter the last 13 minutes of the game here on Talksport 2. Preston 1, the 10 men of Leeds 0. Potts with a throw down this right-hand side. Not too much movement, although Alan Brown's still going as he has been for the entire game. He offered himself short, but it's Evans instead. Edge of the penalty area, holds the ball up nicely. McCann goes in early towards the edge of the box. Whiteman's there, got a little kick he thinks from Nonto, but Leeds have got the ball, they haven't. McCann's gathered it back just short of halfway. Potts down the right hand side, sips it in for Evans. Evans then tries to play it off Rodon and out of play, and it's gone for a goal kick. And a chance for Preston to clear their lines away to our right hand side.
Yeah, last big push from Leeds here. They needing to find a spark from somewhere. I think, you look at Rutter, he's not gave up all day. He's been there. Slow pass.
It is given away. Evans does well to keep that under control. Miller's in acres of space on the left hand side if they can find him. Holmes did well, and in the end he's fouled by Rutter. And you're right, you said Rutter hasn't given up. I mean, he's battled away. Even when he was playing as a 9, he kept battling away, showing a little bit. Again, dropping back into that sort of 10 position. He's trying to fight. He looks tired, but again, he keeps going. And Leeds have to find a spark from somewhere. He scored 2 goals in his last 17 games, Rutter. So he's certainly not in there for the goal-scoring prowess. But it's the work rate and the opportunities he's been creating for Leeds that has kept him in this team. And he's shown that today, but no reward for his side as things stand. Holmes, right angle of the penalty area, gets it in early towards, I think he was trying to find Watmore, who was at the edge of the 6-yard box. Holmes again to Brown, laid off by Evans. Brown in the box, right-footed shot is blocked, comes out towards Watmore. It's cleared by Joseph, and now Nonto, if he can keep it on the far side, has a chance maybe as he plays it long and just tried to skip round the long way, but it's well defended in the end by Lindsay at the back, and clear it comes from Woodman. Everything was opening up for Brown, but they've given it away here to James. Rutter down this left-hand side, tries to get the other side of Holmes, and he's fouled by the byline, midway between the corner flag and the edge of the penalty area. And it's going to be a yellow card for Holmes, and it's going to be a free kick for Leeds United.
But all that comes from is because Nonto doesn't give up. He goes and chases the goal, he puts the goal under pressure, poor kick. James picks up the second ball, plays it down the side, and Rutter and manages to get a foul against Dwayne Holmes. So this Leeds team are still in this game. They've got quality. There's moments, they'll have a moment between now and the end of the game, but they just make sure they've got to take it. But they've shown the right mentality and the right attitude since they've gone down to 10 men that have Leeds.
Preston are going to make another change in a moment or two, but they've got to defend this first. Dan James has it. It's literally half a yard from the byline, midway between the corner and the edge of the penalty area. He goes in low and direct, and it's met with a firm right boot by Ben Whiteman, who puts it out on this near side. And again, it'll be another throw down this left-hand side.
Poor delivery. Poor delivery from Dan James. You expect better with the quality that he's shown at times. He just clips it to the front post.
Here's Rodon, just short of his own half. On this near side, he finds Struijk infield. The gloves of Gruijk come and reach the ball. That was Struijk again. Out to the penalty area with Darlow on that right-hand side. Darlow, of course, on after Mellier's red card early on in the second half. Here's Ampadu to Rodon again. Struijk has gone wide down this left-hand side once more. James is there. Little layoff from Joseph. James on the charge now, inside the penalty area. Dan James on his right foot goes down, and he's given the penalty. Points to the spot as the referee. No hesitation after Dan James went down in the box. And a chance for Leeds to level things up from 12 yards.
I'm not too sure it's a penalty, Adam, do you? I don't think it's a penalty.
I didn't think it was.
It is brilliant to go into the striker. Joseph holds it up, flicks around the corner. Dan James follows the path, but then when he goes in the box, he's always in trouble, the defender, because he can allow him inside, and he goes past him, and I think it's soft.
Well, Peru was the appointed penalty taker. Somerville took the ball against Ipswich at the weekend and scored. Neither of those are on the pitch. The one person you don't want taking it is Patrick Bamford. He's missed the last 3 and thankfully he's not on the field to play either. But it'll be Pascal Struijk who's got the job for Leeds United. 2 goals already this season. Scored against Ipswich at the weekend, of course. And from 12 yards, the captain takes responsibility to try and level this game up with 8 minutes remaining. They're down to 10 men. A real opportunity here. And there's no doubt Joel Smith has had his say in this game. He red-carded Meslier, and he's now given Leeds a penalty. Struijk takes it into the corner, and he scores for Leeds United. Sent the keeper the wrong way, and they've got themselves level. And there's limbs, and it's Bedlam away to our left-hand side of the away end. 4,000 Leeds United supporters on the road with them this Boxing Day, and they're celebrating wildly. There's 7 minutes left here. It's Preston 1, Leeds 1.
Yeah, listen, they've rode the luck a little bit second half, Leeds. But I said, they stay in the game, they'll get a moment in the match, and they've done it. They've got that penalty to go 1-1. Again, going down to 10 men, they've shown a bit of intent, they've shown energy, and big opportunity for Leeds now to go and win the match.
Change, Dwayne Holmes is off. Mads Procure is on for Preston North End with 7 minutes left into the game. Ali McCann was the player who clipped Dan James for the penalty. Come against the run of play, but a great pen from Pascal Struijk, and Josh Smith, the referee, has certainly impacted this game at both ends of the field. 1 apiece then. Atmosphere's lifted again, but this time it's by those travelling Leeds United supporters away to our left-hand side. It's 6 minutes to go plus time added on.
The longer it goes 1-0 in the game, and Preston don't get that second goal. Leeds have always got a chance with the quality they have in their team, the resilience that they've got in terms of what happened at the start of the season to now being in the position they are. There's good characters in that group, and they've never given up, and they obviously got the penalty. They need a little bit of luck. Sometimes you do when you're under a bit of under pressure, and they got that, and the centre half and the captain stuck it away. And it wouldn't surprise me now to see Leeds going on and win this.
Well, they have possession. I mean, they were 1-0 up here, Preston, against Watford, and ended up losing 5-1. It wasn't the best of days for them, but they have got a man advantage still if they can keep their heads and just try to use the extra space and the extra player they have. Royf in middle of the park, goes back to Gray. Leeds have it edge of their own penalty area with Rodon, and it's the Leeds supporters you can hear around deep there. Joseph commits the foul on Jack Watmore. The urgency now is from Preston again. 1-1 on Talksport 2. Charging forward down that left-hand side. The drive by Andrew Hughes is stopped in its tracks by the challenge from Routier, and Nonto just drops the ball in frustration that the free kick's gone Preston's way midway inside the Leeds half.
I don't think that's a foul either. I think Nonto actually gets some bit of the ball, but Preston got an opportunity for Alan Brown now to put it into a position where it can hurt Leeds.
Jed Evans will be the danger man here. Lindsay as well is lurking inside that penalty area too. Whiteman and Watmore also forward. Plenty to aim at. Andrew Hughes too. What's the delivery like from Alan Brown? Scorer of the Preston goal in this game. Swings that one in, flicked on and saved by Darlow. It was Lindsay with a header, and Darlow goes low down to his left to make the stop.
Yeah, another good ball, and first contacts there from Preston. Leeds need to go and get that first contact, but straight into Carl Darlow's hands, and Leeds will come again.
Well, we are 2 commentaries down of the 8 we're bringing you across the Talksport network today, and if the drama continues like this, you're going to need a lie down. Over on Talksport, Newcastle 1, Forest 3, a Chris Wood hat-trick there, and here it's 1 apiece. We've had a red card, a penalty, and a cracking game of football this Boxing Day lunchtime. Real championship fare, hard toe-to-toe, bits of quality, but a non-stop game for sure, and it continues with Darlow at the edge of his 6-yard area now, launching that ball forward. Header won that time by Joseph. On halfway, Ampadu over the top. James is on the charge. He's won a penalty already, remember. He's being closed down by Alan Brown. He takes him down, and that's going to be a yellow card for Alan Brown. And it will be a free kick for Leeds United, level with a penalty spot between the corner flag and the penalty area.
Listen, Ryan Lowe will be pulling his hair out over there. It's madness from Alan Brown. You know, you're 1-1, he's going nowhere, and he goes and makes a foul. An opportunity now for Leeds to put the ball in the box. But again, it's about using your mentality, mindset. You know, game understanding. You don't need to make the foul. He's facing to the touchline, and he makes a foul and goes to the free kick.
Nonto swings it to the back post, going up to try and win. It was Rodon on that occasion, far edge of the penalty area. Joseph was there, but Hughes will get it away. But it's a desperate clearance up to halfway. Archie Gray closed down by McCann. Gray just gives it out wide, and Gruith will just go all the way back to Darlow, away to our right-hand side. First yellow card for Alan Brown since the 7th of October. He got 4 at that stage, but he's been keeping his nose clean since the 4th of October until today. 5th of the season then for the Preston captain. Of course, we are way past in the Championship the cut-off point for 5 yellow cards earning you a ban. That was on game 19.
Oh, I've been there a few times. That's not been on 10 by this time.
It's up to halfway.
I managed to get to 14 at one point.
What, by Christmas?
No, I think it was about 7 games to go from the end of the season and through the playoffs that I had 14 bookings.
Well, that's brilliant from Miller. Miller charging in the box on his right foot. Miller! What a goal for Preston North End! And it's Liam Miller. Quite outstanding. Stunning goal. Absolute brilliant finish. He's bent it into the top corner. Wonderful goal. And it's Preston 2, Leeds United 1.
Adam, all I can say is he's the one Preston player that deserves it. He's been brilliant this afternoon. He's got Archie Gray a few times, cut inside, and again, what a wonderful shot. Cuts inside, bends it in the top corner, and there's a brilliant finish from Miller, and yeah, he definitely deserves it. He's been brilliant for Preston.
He's been the one player with the real quality.
He has. Again, we talk about that Preston at Swansea the other night. He's the one that scores the goal. But today he comes on, he starts the game, and real positive impact for Ryan Lowe's side, and he deserves that goal. He's been brilliant all afternoon.
Leeds have made another change. And I think is it potentially Ampadu that's departed for the first time this season?
Bamford for Ampadu.
And it is Patrick Bamford who comes on in the desperate quest for another goal for Leeds United. Liam Miller, quite outstanding with that finish. And as soon as that ball hit the back of the net, I mean, you just heard that roar around Deepdale. Here's Joseph. Joseph in field. Finds Stroik. Here's Gray. Nonto. Long ball swung at 8 minutes of added time as that swung into the box. And the header is won by Brown, but at a cost. He's taken a knock in the process. But Leeds have a corner on the far side, and we're into 8 added minutes.
It was amazing. I was actually watching the Preston bench when they scored, and Ryan Lowe and Mike Marsh's assistant were actually rolling on the ground, over celebrating. It was brilliant.
Nonto swings it across. Strick goes up for the header. Can't quite get there. Comes down to Dan James. It's with Archie Gray in the centre circle. Archie Gray going to go out wide to that right-hand side. Nonto's waiting for it. Nonto then looks to come in field. Stroik, 30 yards out from goal. Wants the 1-2 from Joseph. Joseph holds it up. Finds Dan James in the box. Stroik. Here's Joseph. Can he deliver from out wide on this left-hand side? Edge of the box. Short to Stroik again. Stroik does put the ball in. Blocked out by Brad Potts. And it'll be a throw-in down this near side. Listen to the noise here. I don't think I've ever heard Deepdale this loud, to be fair. Here's Nonto again on the right-hand side. We've had one of the 8 minutes. Nonto chips it in. Flicked on. Headed away. Taken down and controlled by Throkia. Out wide to that far side for Preston as they look to get it clear with Miller. Evans just tried to come back. Well, Liam Miller, 3rd goal of the season for him. Scored on debut against Plymouth. Scored against Swansea. And at it again today for Preston North End.
Yeah, he's been terrific. But just his real positive impact, especially with how Preston are going with the form and things like that. You need just somebody to grab the game in the scruff of the neck, and he's done that. He got really positive against Archie Gray first half, and he caused them a lot of problems. You know, does well for Alan Brown's goal, cutting inside and crossing it, and then he goes and finishes it off with a wonderful finish.
Preston 2, Leeds 1. Here's Frocchia looking to come forward again. It's Miller once more on that far side. Miller darting down that left-hand side. Miller still going. Pulls it back towards Frocchia, but it's blocked out for a corner. It's the injection of pace, isn't it?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's positive. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like wingers, they need confidence, assists and goals, and that's what gets you recognised. And he's done that day. 1 goal, 1 assist. But he's positive. Every time he gets the ball, he wants to look forward and get at his defender.
He's on loan from Basel, the 24-year-old Canadian. Really showing what he's made of on that left-hand side for Preston North End today. Here's Evans by the corner flag, wins the free kick.
Perfect. If you're Ched Evans, you just roll it into him and let him people try and fight and scrap him, because he'll fend people off and get fouls and buy free kicks, and that's what you need at this time.
3 of the 8 minutes that have been prescribed have been played. It's going to be a throw to Leeds on that far touchline. Level with the edge of the penalty spot. Archie Gray takes it short. Helped away. Only as far as the edge of the penalty area again. Well, once more, Ruter is helping it on its way. Pascal Strike's playing more like a winger down this left-hand side for Leeds United. The captain helps it on to Dan James, who's got a bit of space. Closed down by McCann and by Potts. Both come across. Both have been booked. And it's a throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, Strook's been a good outball for Leeds today. Again, being able to get their good energy on the when they went to that back three, and he's the one that's really tried to get forward.
As Joseph loses out to McCann, and trying to win it back that time was Brown. Brown still going. Joseph has it though. And Ruter goes down. The challenge from Brown has been booked. No further action from the referee, but a free kick again down this left-hand side for Leeds United. Level with the edge of the penalty area. Willie Nonto's just been told to move a little further back with it. The crowd trying to tell the referee that Nonto's not taking this in the right place. Right-footed, he swings it in straight into the arms of Freddie Woodman, who gathers it well.
No, it's a good ball. I think it's important that Bamford's got to get across the front. It's a good ball from Nonto there, but again, nobody gets across the front and straight into the hands of Woodman.
I was going to say, it's a great ball if someone makes the run.
Yeah, exactly that, and if he could flick it across and, might go past Woodman, but again, if nobody's getting across the front, there's no distraction for the goalkeeper or defenders.
Long punt forward by Woodman. Comes to Miller on the far side. Evans is racing into that corner as you would expect him to. Wily old pro, Ched Evans, doing the hard yards for Preston as they look to keep hold of this 2-1 win, and no surprise there's another change coming. Alan Brown is the player who's departing. Ryan Ledson is coming on, and he scored the first goal, but he's been at the heart of so much for Preston.
Yeah, he's driven the team. Obviously, I think Miller will get a lot of plaudits in terms of what he's done, but I think Alan Brown's determination, his running power, leading by example, his quality on the ball for set plays, he's been magnificent as well this afternoon for Preston.
There is the change. So Ledson is on, Brown is off, and it's a good header away from deep inside his own half by Liam Lindsay. I don't know about Liam, but Liam Lindsay always looks like he's carrying a limp of some description throughout the from about the first minute.
Done that exactly. From the first minute he looks like he's been limping, but again, good character in the dressing room, wanting to fight and scrap, because he knows he's under the team's under pressure, and a big result for this would put Preston back involved in this playoff mix. 1 point will be off it in terms of at the moment, so it could be a big result for Preston today if they can get over the line here at the end.
It was the 4th of November against Coventry. They tasted victory here at Deepdale last time out. Lost the last 3 at home, so nobody is leaving here early. Even the Leeds fans away to our left-hand side are still packed in. No one's in a rush this Boxing Day to get away from what's been a pulsating encounter. And we're not done yet. Still about 90 seconds of added time to play. Gruith out wide to that right-hand side. Here's Nonto. Nonto on the charge. Nonto gets it into the box, but it's well read by Ben Whiteman, who then finds Miller. He's got 3 round him immediately on that far side. Nonto being the first to get there and winning the ball back. Nonto infield. Joseph with a touch, takes a deflection and out for a goal kick to Preston away to our left-hand side.
Yeah, again, Miller should just sent up the pitch and he tried to take on too many, but good numbers round the ball. Alan McCann just blasting it off Joseph and getting a goal kick. Find a little bit here for Woodman to clear up the pitch.
Well, I was going to say, the referee Josh Smith just telling him, don't go taking too long over this.
Yeah, no, I think it's nearly done now. But he did take 40 seconds, I think, at the back end of the first half there for a foul. So I don't think he'll get away with that much.
Into the dying seconds of the 8 minutes added here. 2-1 to Preston against the 10 men of Leeds. Archie Gray gets it back to Darlow. Darlow gets it out on this left-hand side. Here comes Pascal Strike. Referee checks his watch surely as it goes forward to Joseph. Joseph onto James. Away by Potts. Hammered forward by Ledson. Down this right-hand side. It reaches Darlow. Away to our right. Forward he goes. Joseph tries to win the header. Potts away. And the free kick is Preston's, and surely that must be it.
Yeah, it was a foul there from Banford, and we're 30 seconds over the original 8, so not much to go. I think Ryan will be delighted in terms of second half performance and what he gave. First half they were really organised in that, and they caused Preston a few problems, but second half they really come after for Leeds, and obviously the red card helps Preston a lot.
Freddie Woodman is taking his time over this free kick, that's for sure. Midway inside his own half. He'll look to launch this forward. The referee's got his whistle in hand, and he's now got his whistle to his lips. And there is that Deepdale law. Not been in evidence since the beginning of November. But Ryan Lowe, under pressure, has masterminded only a second win in 8 games for Preston North End. And Leeds United, who were looking to cut the gap to themselves and Ipswich in second place, have been beaten this Boxing Day lunchtime in an absolute cracker of a game. It all turned at the start of the second half. Meslier sent off for shoving Osmajic in the face. 2 minutes later, Alan Brown's header from Miller's cross put Preston in front. Then a penalty won by Dan James was converted by Pascal Strike. But then Liam Miller with a brilliant individual goal. Hard to find the words to describe it really. Cut inside the penalty area, picked out his spot in the top corner, and no surprise he's been named man of the match here. Charlie, I mean, that was a terrific game of football.
Yeah, it's a brilliant game for the Championship. I just, end-to-end at times. Leeds had control of the game for spells, but Preston always dug in, they stuck in. And then they got a bit fortunate with the red card, but it's Mellier's stupidity and getting sent off. But the goal from Alan Brown was brilliant. Miller was a threat all day, and he finished the game off well with a lovely curling shot into the top corner. But when Leeds went into 10 men, they responded and they got the penalty, which we thought at the time was a soft penalty. But again, Preston never let their heads down. They could have because of the form that they were in, but again they bounced back and they managed to get the win.
When you see a performance like that from Ryan Lowe's side, you wonder how and why they've been on the kind of run they've been on, because not only did they defend incredibly well throughout the game, but with players like Miller and obviously Alan Brown driving things forward, they were always a threat to the Leeds goal.
It can happen. If you look at what Preston have been over the years, have been in the Championship a long time, and it's good that you've got that in there. And like Ryan said, he never doubted his group of players. He's always tried to stay strong with them. Made 5 changes, and the lads that have come in have shown, that they deserve an opportunity. And you've got to just try and stick to the right formula and what will come. And it's a great result against one of the best teams in the Championship.
And that's one of the things, isn't it? The confidence you can take. Because, this isn't, with no disrespect, this isn't a Rotherham, this isn't one of the teams languishing near the bottom. This is a side that have been flying. They thumped Ipswich at the weekend. They've come here full of confidence, and Preston have battled and taken them down.
Exactly, and that's what Ryan will say now. That's the standard, and that's the level we need to try and get to. If we want to be competitive in the Championship, that's the standard we have to get to week in, week out. And if we fall below that, then we can go on, a run of games where we don't win or draw and things like that. But 11 against 11, Preston were as good as Leeds. Okay, Leeds had the ball and the build-up was a little bit better, but they had a plan, they had a structure in the team, and when you've got that, you can also cause teams problems, and Preston deserved the win in the end today, I think.
In many ways, the bonus for Leeds is the fact that you've got Ipswich playing Leicester later, so potentially they could take points off each other to not widen that gap. But you would still expect Leeds, with the quality they've got, to be really pushing after that second automatic spot.
Yeah, they will do. There's still 20 odd games to go, and by the end of the season, you'd expect Leeds to go. In spells today, you could see what they're doing and why they're a good team. They've got good players, but they got punished through a mad mistake from the goalkeeper. I know Alan Brown scored, but the goalkeeper, the momentum changes when he gets sent off. They're away from home in front of a big crowd, and his own performance in terms of pushing the guy in the face, that kills it. And Preston deserve a victory.
Charlie, we all make mistakes in football.
Made plenty.
Yeah, but what goes through a player's mind at that moment? Because you know the consequence of that action, surely.
It's a spur of the moment thing, and he's probably thought that the referees, I think he's got away with the first one where he actually pushes I think it's Alan Brown in the face, but then he goes to Osmajic and pushes him with his right hand, and you don't get away with the second one, and the referee was right there when he's seen it and gives a red card. So yeah, Melio will have known he's letting his team down. He's a young goalkeeper. We keep saying he's a young goalkeeper. He's got enough experience now. He's played in the Premier League a long time as well. But he has to learn from that, because you can't afford to let your teammates down like that. And he's done that today, and unfortunately for them, they've lost the game. But this is a big win for Preston.